That you need to respect in the Essendon forward line.
And we've never liked a marking player on John Cox.
No.
Doesn't seem to suit John Cox. That'll be interesting to see what transpires there.
Opening bounce Friday night football on the way downhill. Got it. Howlett got boot to ball. Only travelled about 10 metres.
In the back.
Bocking's going to get a free kick. Push in the back.
Straight away.
Umpires tonight. Stevic, Ryan and Mollison. Hocking. Told to go. Works his way on his left side. Kicks it down towards half forward. In front. Reimers goes after the football the second time. Recovered brilliantly. Jetta over the top to no one in particular. Van Berlo let it run. Jacobs goes wide. Symes goes back. Out of the back pocket, it's Rutten, the veteran, across the face of goal, and Talia takes the mark. Opposite back pocket, just pops it up. Yench lays it off. John Cock loves this situation. A bounce. He carries it up towards the wing. Pushing the back on Dangerfield. Belated whistle. The umpire just watching to see if there was advantage. There wasn't. So Dangerfield gets the free kick on the wing.
Goes very short and not a good kick in the end, and made it hard for Henderson, and then it was touched off Stanton's boot, but John Cock again with a bit of dash. Won 99 games tonight, and Jacobs has started pretty well, I reckon, here tonight. I know that sounds silly, but he's been in a couple of good spots, and a half a missed kick finds Petrenko.
Really impressive start from Jacobs. He drifted right back after the initial centre clear and clogged up the hole in the Essendon forward line, then showed the ability to make a really good offensive decision to get right in the middle of the ground, and albeit a bit of a one off the shin, but positive start.
It looks like Dustin Fletcher's got the Petrenko matchup. He does play a lot of shapes and sizes, Dustin Fletcher.
Not a big goal kicker, but he's been getting a fair bit of the ball. He's had a lot of disposals over the last couple of weeks. That's a great kick. Good start for the Crows.
It was interesting when Heath Hocking had the ball up from that free kick in the middle of the ground. He didn't want to go in deep because Jacobs had got back, as you said, Tom. And Essendon have only got one big player in their forward line, and they're going to play Ryder or Hill as the tall, but there's just a lot of medium. So Essendon, I think, no, they just can't bomb the ball in long. They've got to be a bit precise going forward.
Really encouraging start there by young Petrenko, and a good start also for John Cock. We mentioned at the start of the bounce he's going to have to do a defensive job on Monfries, but he's obviously coming to the game with a very attacking mindset.
Obviously no stigma attached to kicking the first goal, at least for Jared Petrenko. Hacked down towards half forward by Hill, getting a fist on that one was John Cock. Goes back, applies the tackle, gets into the back of Monfries, the boy from Sturt.
He's back. Time back on. Clear it out.
Monfries about 60 metres out from goal. Going long, it's a vacant square. Getting back is Davey. Couldn't hang on.
Allen, right out, please. Allen.
So the Bombers finished in great form last week. The last 10 goals against the Tigers. Concede the first goal tonight. Adelaide lead it by 5. Here's Bernie Vince to bring it back in. Oh, to hurry up. Kicks it to himself. Runs to the pocket. Drives it outside the defensive 50. Needs a punch in front by Jacobs. Well, next best thing, tried to mark it, fell to Dowdy. Dowdy straight to Stanton. Beautiful kick. Howlett meters in the clear. Can go to Prismal. Didn't spot the man coming up, though. That's Symes. Symes sitting in the hip pocket, and the pressure forced the error. Dangerfield's away.
He's got Henderson running with him. Probably should have used him as a poor kick. He had another fast runner alongside of him. Now Fletcher, Dyson, who was a sub last week and came on and had a dangerous little patch early where things didn't go right for him, but they settled. Hurley has got the job on Tippett. Jetta, impressive Jetta over the last 20 matches or so, late last year and most of this year. That one he bangs forward. McKay attacked hard. Thompson. Thompson did very, very well in heavy traffic. Tambling on the up. Dowdy's handball poor. McKay, Dyson. Well done, Vince. Didn't carry the required measure, though, so Vince goes back to John Cock. Next week he'll be the 10th Crow to play 200 games, will Stiffy be, and that's a good kick.
Stiffy. There goes the kick from Rutten down towards right half forward. Good mark. Wiley stood his ground. Tambling with a real chance now. Kicks from 60, not sure he needed to release it there and then. Pears goes back, thumps it towards the square. Hardingham falling over Petrenko, taken front on by Pears. Ball came out the back. Dangerfield right, and he's kicked the goal.
Another good build-up there by the Crows, and Graham Johncock involved also with Richard Tambling. I think they're certainly reading the ball very well. The Bombers not quite getting the right penetration with their inside 50s at the moment, and the rebounding halfbacks of Adelaide able to pick them off and generate their run down the wing.
It's just really those scrambled goals every now and again. The ball comes out, the players don't want to lock the foot in, so it's a good sort of scuns goal. But just at the moment, the Crows half-back line's running, Tom. They're just getting they're bouncing off there. Both sides can't kick it long because they've only got one forward each, tall forward each.
So Moran in the ruck wins the tap to Thompson, to Dowdy. Sloan did really well here. Gets it back to Thompson. He's outnumbered. Howlett well played. Back turn effective. Dyson cut off by Riley. Ball gets clear, and then Thompson coughed it up as Howlett comes through the centre. Good contest though. Otten goes back, in trouble. Dowdy, free kick. Advantage, and Stanton uses it beautifully to Remus. Good contested effort by the Bombers there.
Good pressure, a bit of a turnover game at the moment. It's meant there's a lot of turnovers and changes of possession. This time Essendon have got the beneficiary of that midfield pressure.
There's Cramry, eh?
And that's the energy Lee was talking about before the game, that the Bombers really elevated with their game at the start of the season, that forward 50 pressure.
Kicked 8, of course, against the Suns. He's kicked 7-3 from set shots, and that one not going there. What have you got for us, Richo?
Yeah, that goal that was kicked by Young right, Pez came off right to help out Hurley, third man in on Big Tippett, and that left his man at ground level, and he was able to kick the goal. So if you're going to help out, you need to force the ball out of bounds.
Matthew Jensch to bring it in. Some indecision. Massive crowd now. It really has built up in the last few minutes. Late arriving crowd. Working day, of course, as the ball runs close to the boundary line. It's still in. Prismal battles there. Johncock slaps it out. Down goes Dyson, taken home. He'll get the free kick.
Right there, Brad.
Dyson.
Plant, you're in.
No doubting the kick. Hardingham. Hurley. Fletcher. Now there's a man onto the far side. Out it goes. Pears. Right half back. They've still got the extra man around there. Heppel doesn't realise it. There's a man on the boundary. He's oblivious to it.
Run.
Couldn't see him against the crowd, I guess, or didn't look. He goes in short to Melksham. Melksham lays it off. Collier comes. He was the man out there in the first place, but a terrible kick. Well, maybe Heppel knew what he was doing. In trouble. Otten tried to give it across towards Jensch. Well done by Riley. Tambling. Talia. Didn't go 15. Sloan gathered it nicely. Works a little 1-2 with Otten. Now goes back towards the boundary, and the mark is taken by the man who kicked their last goal. Right. Centering kick to the skipper, Van Berlo.
So they switch it, the Crows. That's a good kick by Van Berlo. Didn't have to break stride, Jensch, and that's a lovely long kick to Jacobs. He's got it.
Really liking what the Crows are doing at the moment, transferring the play as much as they can to keep the Essendon defence guessing all the time.
Tippett, the target, can't bring it down. Fletcher, well done. Hurley to Prismal, and then Prismal controls it, but not a great kick to Daisy. It's a free kick.
It's textbook tunnelling.
Yep. Dangerous.
I think he's hurting. Jensch is in trouble here.
Elwyn, come here, just be careful with that. Tom on plough.
So Jensch has to leave the ground. Doughty took a while to bang it forward. Tippett, can't quite. Tambling's been good. They said they had to re-energise Tambling. He'd started the season okay, got suspended. He actually played in the SANFL last weekend. Lee, 2 or 3 of them played last weekend. Henderson at Centrals, Brodie Smith at the Eagles, and Tambling played at Sturt. They used the bye and played those guys.
Yeah, more match practice.
And he started okay so far. Held on to with Stanton for a moment, and then Jacobs has been terrific ball up.
Well, speaking of the bye, I mean, coming into this part of the season, I guess the last third, it's got to be a benefit. You see Jensch there with the shoulder injury from the Alwyn Davies body spoil.
This is only the second stoppage in this first 10 minutes of play. Very open game.
Lays it down. Melksham had it, spilled it. Hardingham got it from Dyson. Only as far as Sloan. Slipping it over the top, Riley. Worked forward there by Symes. Right, falling away as he kicked the ball down towards the pocket. Opportunity for Tippett. kicks it very high. It's floating goalward. It bounces. Still a live football. Moran tried to flick it back. It went the other way. Taken across the line by Hill. The crowd up for this one too, making a lot of noise early going on a Friday night in Adelaide.
Short and effective to Ryder.
Right there.
Crows with it's probably a 16-man zone at the moment. You see scattered throughout the screen there, just the options that Paddy Ryder's got to look for.
Lovely kick to Prismal. He's had 2 or 3 good weeks, Prismal. A lot more of the ball. Played the last 4. Gee, danger for Stanton. Gang tackled. And probably did a good job to actually get the ball forward. And Cremery was really good there. And then Monfries handed it up, though. Crows with numbers. Sloan. Petrenko releases John Cott. Now he's a good kick. He's 55 metres out. He's 49 metres out. He's a good kick, all right.
Well, we mentioned early in the game that he seems to be picking up Angus Monfries. And he's a fantastic runner off halfback, which is going to test Monfries. That's the shoulder injury after that free kick. But just the moment, Monfries hasn't been able to find the footy in the air, and John Cox just gets steaming off halfback.
Yeah, certainly, it's almost like he's been programmed just to attack. He's always plays that way, but particularly off Monfries, he's certainly up and about. He had, I think, probably 2 kicks within the first minute of the game, and that's a fantastic goal there by Graham Johncock. The Crows, for me, look like they've got their energy around the ball. You see one Essendon player, then you see 2 Crows players, and they continually outnumber at the contest, and of course a turnover.
Jared Petrenko off the ground. He's with Richard.
Jared, it's been a good solid start by you guys. 3 goals in the first 10 minutes. You must be happy.
Yeah, we're happy with that fast start. That's what we're after, but we've done it before, so we got to make sure we do 4 good effort today.
You're getting plenty of run from your half-back line at the moment.
Yeah, it's good to see. Good conditions for it as well. Stiffy and the blokes like that. Run off half-back, give us plenty of drive to the forward line. Hopefully keep it up.
Thanks, mate.
Thursday.
Even Ruckman are doing those bouncing goals. Moran almost, he only needed just one half turn, and that was going to go in for a goal.
Heppel hugs the boundary line with a kick, going back with courage out there. Zaharakis. Advantage was taken by Collier. Not sure why. And this is a problem, isn't it, with the players calling advantage. Instinctively they want to go, and then they're committed, and then they're hurried into whatever it is they wanted to do.
I suspect, Dennis, they've got to change their instincts and actually look before you play on. I mean, that's what they're being asked to do, I suspect.
That's right. Hard to do, though, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Because it means you've got to umpire the game as well. You've got to work out whose free kick it was. Symes feeds it back. Vince, clever kick. Henderson, intent on drawing a man initially, then allowed to kick it. Still inside the centre square. Tippett on a searching lead takes the mark. He kicks inside the forward 50. Coming hard, Moran. Hands to it, couldn't hang on, tracks it towards the line. That was on the full. He got away with one there, McKay. That came off his shin. He socked it across the line. Maybe not.
Looked like it. I was with you, Dennis. I thought, but on the replay, maybe not.
Definitely not.
Sloan.
Hate it when that happens, Bruce.
Pears. You'll be fine. Back to Sloan. Jacobs off one step. Kick to the pocket, and that one, well, that one bouncing just over the line, and it's a bomber kick. McVeigh to Hurley, back to McVeigh. Adelaide effectively pressing up the ground for the moment, making it hard.
Clear it out here, clear it out.
Pears wanted 50 with Sloan running close to him, not coming. So Pears conceding to go back. It wasn't a great kick, but Hardingham was okay, and then back they go to Hurley. McVeigh on again, but they've only gained, what, 5 metres? With about 4 kicks and a couple of minutes of footy. And then McVeigh down low. Jacobs in hard. He's been terrific. Right. Good handball. Releases McKay to Sloan. McKay now. He's a good quick too. Not this time. He's unbeaten, McKay. You know, he's only played against Hawthorn and the Swans. He might be their lucky charm, Richo.
Yeah, big Sam Jacobs, you just called him there in the play, Bruce. He's been fantastic. 5 touches early. He's always been good at the hit-outs, but he hasn't been getting involved in the play enough. Tonight, he's really pushing forward and giving him an option down there.
Crows by 19 points then, midway through the term. The veterans got it. Dustin Fletcher to himself. He'll kick outside the 50. They come from all directions. Hill, good position, went up one-handed though, tapped it down. Taken by Hocking, gave a hand pass across towards a teammate, McVeigh. He advanced it to Monfries, who's claimed from behind. He's trying to get it out there, Monfries. Oh.
Angus got to make an attempt, mate.
I thought he was with his right hand, but apparently not.
That highlights again the intensity of the Crows at the moment, putting the extra number to Angus Monfries and causing the free kick.
Talia with the free then, drives it inside the forward 50. How about Tippett? Just came to the front position there, demanded it. It fell at his feet. Working in there is Fletcher, and the umpire calls for it.
Just basic stats. Essendon, the Crows have had 33 kicks, 36 handballs. They're running the footy. Essendon have had 37 kicks, only 18 handballs. So they're trying to kick their way through.
Jacobs won the tap, and Hocking read it well, and then Heppel to Dyson. So on the left foot, kicks to a contest, and Adelaide chop it off again. Play on. So good to see inch back, Talia. Slow kick, not a great kick actually, but he did well, the big guy. And then releases Sloan. Sloan has hooked it. Probably should have gone back, Jacobs. Sloan was under some pressure, and it's a poor kick in the end. But Jacobs, Mark Bickley told me yesterday that what they've really been impressed about him is he gets to good spots. They haven't had a linkage ruckman at Adelaide for a long time. They feel like he could be a linkage player. Well, right now, he's providing that for them.
Coach knows his players.
Howlett to Fletcher. So this defence is working double time at the moment. Bombers off to a slow start. They're down by 19. Their record at this ground is not good. Ryder, clever mark. Jetta released over the top. Opportunity for Kyle Reimers. He sends it down towards right half forward. Well, getting across now. A golden opportunity for Collier. Left it behind. Yench did well. Crumbs it, lays it off. Vince. Long kick. Having to wait Riley. Falls behind he and McVeigh. McVeigh leads back in the race. Well, a half chance there for Henderson. Just missed the footy. Riley comes in on McVeigh and pushes him back across the boundary line. 21 plays two. Just over 8 minutes out from quarter time.
There is Mark Bickley, the dual premiership captain alongside Neil Craig, the senior coach. So Stanton, good job pushing the ball forward, having to wait Otten, and he put a little bit of pressure on Inch, but back they go. And then Vince getting a lot of ball in the back half. Good kick to Van Berlo. They're on here. Talia looks up. He got away with one there, Talia. Now they're on. Out wide. It's that man again. He's got two.
It's time to put some defensive effort into John Cock, I think.
Well, they've actually just bounced. Essendon's forward 50. I mean, it's going in there a little bit, but then it just keeps bouncing out. And I mean, when John Cock was able to really get on the half forward flank 50 metres clear, that becomes a very dangerous target on the way out. Two goals from a back six player. That shows how well the Crows are running.
Well, he's been outstanding so far, John Cock. He actually just came off for a rest and came back on the ground, and I reckon they just lost him, and he pushed forward, got on the end of that there, had plenty of space. The other thing that's just happened is Pears has now been moved on to Tippett. Michael Hurley has gone forward.
Starting the night for this season, John Cock was goalless. Now he's got two. First multiple goal game since late in 08. There's Symes dashing out of the middle now. It's all Adelaide. They're really rolling. Almost the juggled mark to Dangerfield. It falls to Pears. Pears goes along the boundary line. Nice kick, Melksham. 2 weeks ago, career high. 29 possessions against the Cats. Zaharakis missed the football.
As Richo mentioned, Michael Hurley going forward really just changes the overall structure. I mean, as a player going forward, you'd like to have some familiarity with the key forwards.
Moran knocks it down. Thompson stubs it forward. Missing it was Fletcher. Coming up the ground, an opportunity for Dangerfield. Went to ground, slipped out of there by Howlett. Coming through in the opposite direction was Hill. Clever by Zaharakis. Threaded the hand pass. Melksham around the outer side. Monfries launched himself. Fell in his lap.
Let him up. Tom back on.
So Monfries may be a bit lucky, but we won't talk about lucky free kicks for Monfries. Kicks the ball to half forward. Van Berlo. Well done, Cramry. Davey will be dangerous. He gets down low. Getting down Symes as well. Well played by Van Berlo. Yentz just giving it away. And now Hocking. Toe poke not far enough. Cramry wrong side for him. Got Corral. Dyson right side for him. But oh, poor kick. Just his second game this year. He was a sub last week. Came on. Gave away a big free kick, got caught holding the ball, but then settled down after that.
Otten for the Crow played that absolutely terrifically. They're just corralled. Crammy forced him to make a decision, hence the turnover.
Dyson with a low GI, goal instinct. He missed by a mile. Opposite pocket. This is Symes. Underrated defender Symes. Gives them run. John Cock doing much as he likes. He's booted 2 goals in this opening term. And as I said moments ago, that's been rare this season. In fact, rare for a while. Out wide, Symes again. Need to pick him up. Well, there's a few Adelaide Crows running riot at the moment. Good mark by Henderson. Back in the side tonight. Wheels around. Goes long down towards full forward. In best position, Dangerfield. Oh, just getting a hand in there was Hardingham. It looked for a moment as though Patrick Dangerfield was going to take a one-hander. He didn't. And we've got a boundary throw in with Adelaide up by 25 points.
So Moran and Hill. Good job, Melsham. And then McVeigh. Well-weighted handball for Davey. They need a goal here, the Bombers. Jetta. That's a poor kick. So Adelaide cutting them off again there. And then Rutten to Vince. Vince about 60 metres from goal. He'll come back inside. He does now. And then loads it up. Tippett's in a good spot. At the back, Dyson. The ball down low. It was Dangerfield, Tippett, Pears. Got the kick away. And Stanton, well played, Pears. He was the last man standing, basically. Dyson over the top. Stanton's had a bit of ball out wide to Hill. Well, umpire called play on.
Got no one to go to here. They're just going to have to try and work their way through Essendon.
And that's what they did. Stanton didn't look really. Cramry's a good mark, though, and takes a beauty.
Had to be 2-on-1. Lee's right. There's absolutely no focal point for the Bombers going forward.
Long ball inside the forward 50 then. Hurley appears to have gone forward. Can't get to the contest. John Cock playing a blinder. Rutten, Thompson, Rutten playing with a lot of confidence now. Van Berlo, one bounce, carries it to midfield. Into the path of Sloane. Sloane is marked 60 metres out. The battle of the 2 number 9s won in fine style by the youngster. Up ahead, Dangerfield. That will be ignored. Sloane loads up. High ball. Jacobs in front, bounced over his head. Pears running towards his defensive goal. Stanton, Hardingham. Got it down to Melksham. Goes to the pocket. The mark is taken by Howlett.
So that slow, careful kick. Danger. Sloane in hard. Courage, though.
They've got so many players pushing out to help out the defence, Essendon, that if they can get to halfway up the field, they've just got no one in their forward half. And just a brick wall at the moment. The Crows just keep bouncing it back.
That was Prismal. That was a good effort. And Hill got rid of Moran. Talia probably should have left it for Thompson.
Like this.
And then Hocking forward. John Cock's got some time now to think about it. He'll come across the ground. She's having her first quarter, John Cock. He was the leading goal kicker at the club a few years
He's
back.
just playing by himself back there, Bruce. His opponents are just pushing upfield, moving him back. He's killing them.
So Rutten, that's a good kick too. I've liked this guy's game. Symes into the pocket. And Jacobs a target off Vince at a boundary throw.
And on that point, Lee, I don't think the forwards for the Crows really demand the extra numbers for Essendon back. I don't think they've got that really dominant forward that requires extra space there, so they're really playing into their hands.
The whole setup's not working for Essendon, isn't it? They're stopping Crows scoring a little bit, but they've just got nothing forward to centre.
Moran knocked it down. Out of the congestion by Melksham, only as far as Vince, his 9th possession. Fletcher does well. Richard?
Yeah, Patrick Dangerfield has taken Cole Hardingham deep to the goal square. That takes away Hardingham's biggest strength. He's their best intercept mark player, so Neil Craig is taking him to the goal square.
Taken goal square at the moment too. Heppel had his kick smothered. Moran, Jacobs, Thompson darting around the pack back to Vince. Smothered by Howlett, who was coming hard. throwing the body in there, Moran. Melksham trying to get free, taken down by Riley. Heppel gave it to Dyson. Hocking hard against the boundary line, gets a pass across to Hallett by hand. Opportunity for Collier, pushed out of it. Well done there by Riley. Stood up in the tackle. Opportunity forward of the pack. Well, a half chance for Moran. Sock it away. It comes towards Hurley. In goes Jens, tackled without the footy. Will get the free kick. So Jens, who appeared to injure a shoulder earlier when edged under the ball by Davey, is crashed to the turf by Davey, who's giving him a hard time, but Jens is doing very well. He's had 9 possessions as well.
To right. We've got that early goal for the Crows, that scrambled second goal. Kick inside to Riley, who loads up for full forward. Thompson's got himself for Tippett, comes in hard from the side. Well done down low, though. I think it was Cocking who did that, and that's a good mark. So the Bombers at least have stopped Adelaide from scoring, haven't they?
That's the best you could say. They've stemmed the flow of Adelaide scoring.
Dangerfield pops up to take the mark, stopping the initial scoring threat, but then they have nothing to go out for, and it's the repeat entry again. So they're working absolutely overtime, the Bombers defenders at the moment.
He's a really accurate kick, Dangerfield. Now, this is obviously a long, long way out. He's 18 goals 4 for the year and 8 goals 2 from sets, but, well, this would be a test.
20 seconds now, Patrick. Thank you. Thanks, mate.
It's the better of the 2 pockets at Footy Park. You can see the angle. It's not bad for a right-footer, but it's a long-distance kick. It's a good kick. It's a real chance. It's a goal. That hurts.
The defensive setup for the Crows is working really well at the moment. So the Bombers are putting extra players behind the ball, which allows Adelaide not only extra players behind the ball for them, but enables them the opportunity to set up a squeeze, if you like, across the centre. John Cox, the deepest of the players, and ironically, he's the one getting the most ball. So when the Bombers players do intercept the ball, all they look up and see is the blue, red and gold of the Crows and kick the ball straight back to them.
So I've got a feeling that Essendon have to try and stop the Crows scoring by putting enough players in their forward line that there's no spare Crows defenders. That's where they have to start to try and turn the game around, which is what they seem to have done, at least at this centre bounce.
Margin 31 points then. Hooked down behind by Jacobs. McKay left without it. Dangerfield slaps it across towards Henderson. Sloan, he's got under our guard. 11 possessions for Sloan across the Dangerfield. Kicks inside the forward 50. Henderson, clever as you like, down went Tippett. Side footing it was Fletcher. He was really finessing with that one. Took a while to align himself to the football. Comes across towards Sloan again. Henderson. Down goes McVeigh towards the boundary line. Prismal. McVeigh siren. Wow. Terrific turn by the Adelaide Crows. And for only the 3rd time this season, a goalless term comes from the Bombers. Their first was against Collingwood on Anzac Day, and their most recent against Melbourne before this one on Friday Night Football. So quarter time, Adelaide rolling 5-3-33. Essendon goalless with just the 2 behind. Start of the 2nd term then. Very clear night. Cold. Good game of footy so far if you're a Crows fan. Hocking didn't have the football. Sloan, who's had it a lot, pushes it through the pack. Chopped off by Melksham. Sends it down towards half forward. Working in front down there. Cramry found it on the deck. Wheels around. Kicks inside the forward 50. Hurley works in front. Had it fisted away. Reamers couldn't quite get through. It was too slick for Jetta. Knocked away by Thompson. Clever by Rutten. Kept his head. Goes to Talia. And the youngster drives it towards the outer side. Sloan there again will get a free kick. He's been everywhere, Sloan. Into the path of Riley. Terrible kick. Heppel. The rookie of the season so far. Looks inside. Decides to go long and outside. They'll compete about 5 metres inside. That's very confusing, I know. The forward 50. Monfries hooks it around the corner. Missed by John Cock. Swooping on the football, Crammery. Hocking gives it out to Monfries.
Monfries has a shot for goal. That's been unusual for the Bombers. Have had so few. And Vince, so Remus with the job on John Cock by the look of him?
It looks like that's the case. And I haven't really...
Thanks, Mark.
Remus hasn't been demanding the ball, so obviously more a defensive mindset. And we saw Monfries with the shot on goal. That's important because he is a really integral part to their attacking structure.
Good kick coming out of the back again by John Cock to Rutten.
Thanks, Mike.
I mean, they've been the mainstay, Rutten and John Cock, for what? Nearly a decade, haven't they?
A decade, yeah.
Move it on, Ben.
So Rutten has been in good nick this year. He's been the best, probably three in the best and fairest. Jacobs at the back, good grab. Well, he had a real influence in the first 15 minutes of the match, didn't he? So off a step, Tippett, Pears does well. It's a great clash between those two, and then Henderson couldn't quite. You feel like Tippett's in good form, even though he hasn't done much. I mean, you feel like he's getting to the right spot.
Just really needs to clunk at that case where you take the mark, put it on the shelf, give it a bit of a shake. But he's certainly getting to the contest.
Boundary throw in, left half forward. Hill props in front, over the top, Jacobs. Vince.
Just let it go. You just let it go. Throw it on the ground.
Well, the umpire's explanation, didn't get boot to ball. Had it for a while. Stanton. Melsham. Just forward of right half back. Just for the moment, Essendon grasping for ideas. Back to Heppel. Can't go across the ground though because the lead out there is closed down. So Heppel has to come along our broadcast side. Fletcher was up, had it knocked away by Henderson. Down goes Doughty. Over the top is Sloan. Baller, 33 plays 2.
Dennis with a chance to go to Ben Hartley.
Ben, Essendon seem to be trying to keep their forwards back on your defenders. Any change of plans to respond to that at all?
Not too much, Lee. We need to be really sharp at predicting the ball coming forward and see if we can get there first, obviously, and keep our feet.
And Ben, it looks like the spread of the Crows is really impressive at this stage.
Yeah, we've been pretty happy with the defensive side of it. We've also got to test them going the other way, so hopefully we can keep that.
Thanks for that, Ben.
Cheers.
One of 4 Crows to have played 300 games. Absolute champion defender. Could play on anybody, couldn't he? So Riley and Van Berlo to put the tackle on.
We see Hill in the ruck. The reason I'm really keen for Ryder to be doing more of the ruck work, he gives a little bit of movement and speed, agility around the contest after the ruck work, and I think Essendon need to bolster that as much as they can all over the field.
So that's a good example. Jacobs, who's number 3 in hit-outs, but only 9 had affected that one. He basically put straight down the throat of the Bombers. So just the area that they haven't quite got enough out of. Prismal's kick's a good one. Gave Hurley the run of it. Davey, well played. Inside to Hocking, to Jetta. Now Jetta quickly onto the boot to a contest. John Cock at the back. Did a good job. Well played by Symes. Now he holds the handball. Talia to Vince. Got to get rid of it. Well, Fletcher should have tackled him. Vince to Van Berlo to Talia. Well played, Talia. For the second time, he eluded a tackle tonight, and the Crows are away.
He got the Irish whip, which worked to his advantage. The ball goes down towards half forward, over the top, Harningham. Punches at about 20 metres. Petrenko goes back to Doughty. Doughty gives this one a lot of air. Close to the boundary line, Petrenko comes again, and the player who took a heavy tumble out there, I think, was McVeigh. John Cock copped one too.
He's coming off the field too, John Cock.
That's the first of them, and the more spectacular still came moments later.
Trying to work out what actually happened there. It looks like a hard fall, potentially on the hip. Just jarred him through, so that's a blow for the Crows.
It looks nasty. I mean, he looks really sore coming off. Maybe he'll just come good in a minute or two, but yeah, that'll be a worry for the Crows.
Well, that would be a major blow. He's been the star on the ground. He and Sloan, just quite outstanding, their contribution in the opening term. After the bounce, the umpire may be forced to do it again. Richo, what news?
Yeah, he certainly looks pretty sore there, Graham, John Cock. I reckon it's his lower back. I reckon he's landed on his lower back. And he's certainly pretty ginger there. They're obviously going to check him out now and see what's the problem.
Well, you can see he's feeling it, so that's not good news. Advantage is paid to Adelaide meantime, and they break away from the congestion. Ball comes towards Dangerfield, had the arms chopped, it comes to Tippett, tries to feed it back to Dangerfield, they're under pressure. Hardingham did well, gave it to Collier. Collier sent it wider. Just delaying the release there and doing very nicely was Prismal. Gave it across to Mumfries, kicks it down towards half forward, some holding on or shepherding. It was going to be a free kick to Hurley. Well, now this is where it gets ludicrous. Davey gave it back to Hurley for him to take the kick. Umpire paid a mark and then called play on. Now that is very hard to work out. If you'd come from a foreign land to watch the game, you would be a little confused. And I would join you.
I reckon it was a hip, Bruce. I saw the doctor sort of tap there, and it's a freezing cold night down there, so it's not going to warm up just sitting on the bench, that's for sure.
He's living up to his nickname, isn't he? That's what he'll be feeling right now. Here's McVeigh loading up for full forward and across the face for a behind. That funny action he's got, they call him Stiffy, the way he runs, and he would be really needing to be worked on at the moment, you reckon? God, if he doesn't play for the rest of the match, that's a big win for the Bombers.
If he's tweaked the lower back, that's not something that just comes good in a few minutes.
So Adelaide getting the ball out. Jacobs again a target. He's been a tower so far. Hurley in the front half. Started on Tipper. Well played, Jetta to Melcham to Davey. Eludes the tackle, runs hard, and then check sides it cleverly. Well done.
Yes, that speed to take on the game, really. He's very hard to run down from behind, Alwyn Davey. And
Henderson made some good ground there, but obviously just a little shimmy. And
yeah.
So Mumfries, who actually won the goal kicking with 24 last year, he's on that number this year. His all-time high is 25 in a season. He's about to draw level with that right now. So that's his 25th goal, and the Bombers, more importantly, get there first.
What they've done in the main in this last 10 minutes, about the last bit of the first quarter, this first bit of this second quarter, is actually just stabilised the game. They've only just been able to get that first goal on the scoreboard, but the Adelaide scoring that was coming very freely in the first 20 minutes, at least they've stemmed that, got the game back on a little bit of equilibrium.
Sam, they've been able to peg back the momentum just a little bit at the start of this quarter.
Yeah, they have. They started well there. Obviously, we probably dropped a little bit off on the contested stuff and all that. We just need to get back into it.
And you seem to be trying to push forward a lot and make yourself useful around that 50.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, yeah, just trying to get used a lot more through the midfield and try and get a bit of run and get the ball forward up to the big dog up front.
Thanks, Sam.
Cheers.
Richo should be down there collecting a carbon tax as the ball goes inside the forward 50. Spills to Petrenko, 60 metres out, slips a hand pass back, conceding some ground. Vince again in that characteristic unloading fashion. Puts it up and Dangerfield takes the mark. Kick to his advantage. Lovely kick coming in from Vince. And Dangerfield with his strong hands.
That's a great example of why they play him out of the square. If you just look, he just sort of stops and props, pushes back on Hardingham just before the vision took off there, and then got to the drop point, took it at the highest point with arms outstretched. That's a fantastic mark from a medium-sized forward.
He likes to be a third-up jumper as much as he can, Hardingham, but you know, as you mentioned before, when Dangerfield went to full forward, it's making him play on a target player. That might not suit him quite so well.
Dangerfield with his second goal, 25 metres out, and splits the middle. Quick reply from the Crows.
Important goal. The utilisation, I mean, Tippett is getting on the end a little bit of the ball going into the Crows forward line, but it's not really looking like marking at the moment, in all honesty. So Dangerfield's going to be really important as this game goes on.
Patrick Dangerfield, that's his 20th goal for the season, so he's obviously got the midfield ability, but taking Hardingham deep back where he's not used to being that one-on-one contest, and really exploiting that at the moment for the Crows.
So Moran gets his hands on it. Melcham read it very well. And then McKay got down low. Gee, Sloan has been so good in this situation, hasn't he?
Let him up, please.
What a competitor he is. He's only twice this season got over 20 disposals, but you come away from games feeling he's had a real impact.
It's a fair hit-out stat, 17-7 in favour, so Jacobs and Moran are clearly winning that area.
Doughty, and then McKay held up by Stanton. And I think it's going to be a free kick against McKay, which is unfortunate.
Mate, no genuine attempt. Gave you plenty of time. Stay there. Play on!
Stanton wide. It's a tough call always, isn't it? Good mark taken by Otten. So Otten finds Doughty, tambling. So still tambling, and that's a dangerous kick. He really sets up a situation for the Bombers here. It's a lazy old kick out wide there. Oh, that's brilliant play by the Crows. Getting down low, and then Moran. I think that was Rutten that got down. It was it? Yeah. And then Tippett, who drops a soda for him, and then shrugs off his opponent, and then drills the ball to full forward. Dangerfield with a charge, takes the ball down low. Well, holding the ball, he didn't get rid of the ball legitimately, the umpire called. What a great tackle. So some good play at both ends of the ground. Sloan, good little shimmy and dummy.
Yes, Prismal, no answer. Mark was spilled on the lead there by Wright, tackled head on by Dyson, and the umpire calls for it.
The shimmy there was impressive by Sloan, but what the coaching staff would be really impressed with the fact he pushed so hard defensively to cover for Prismal on the release kick. You just see the holding the ball decision there against Dangerfield.
Bounce 25 metres out from the Crows' attacking goal. Well done by Dyson, but straight to Sloan again. He'll pump it back. Down towards the kick-off line it goes, working in front Dangerfield. Knocked away, slapped out of there by Dyson, overrunning the football hill. Arriving quickly was Doughty, tackled by Prismal. Down he goes. Ball up. Getting up gingerly as Henderson.
Thank you. Thanks, Mick.
Bounce deep in the pocket then. 30 points the margin. 31 it was at quarter time. Jacobs lays it down. Moran, the two big guys combine. Thompson hits the behind post on the full Bombers kick.
Good pressure from the Bombers again there. That closing speed just put Thompson off. They're sort of hanging on by the thread here, Essendon, aren't they? They're certainly competing hard. Jacobs again. G's been good. And he really has had an impact, hasn't he? Adelaide hasn't had a big guy like this for a long time as he belts the ball forward. Tippett this time, surely. Yeah. It was always his, wasn't it?
Yes, that was the two Essendon defenders really just got themselves uncoordinated, which allowed Tippett, this is the kick on the way, which allowed Tippett just to waltz into the footy. He's been strong overhead, Jacobs.
Yep. I'm not sure if there's been a more influential player on the ground. I mean, I know John Cock and Sloan, but
been strong.
I think he's set the ball rolling, didn't he? So Tippett, really, he's 24 goals this year, 23 of them from set shots. So he's a mark and kick big forward. He's not always the most accurate, but he found some accuracy against the Swans. He's been working hard on it, and that is straight into the post. Matthew Richardson.
Yeah, that mark from Tippett was perfect. He timed the contact on the defender perfectly, released and took the ball at its highest point. And when he does that, he's just about impossible to beat. He's just got to avoid wrestling. He's got to take the ball at its highest point.
Heppel, virtually straight up the middle, no contest. Doughty just peeled off Jetta, came to the football, took the mark. He's 60 metres out. Setting it up towards the kick-off line.
Oh, no, take the kick again. There's a footy that's come on the field. Give it back to him. Yeah, Adelaide again.
The footy has come on the field.
Adelaide's kick. No, there's a footy that come onto the ground.
That takes a bit of explaining, I suppose. Was there a behind kick just then? Pardon my ignorance. Meantime, there goes the long kick, and that's a goal. Strange things happen. Yench puts it through.
They've got away now, the Crows. 35 points is a good margin. Home team's going to be hard to run down. I mean, most teams have got the players that they've got the confidence in that you might be able to give them a long shot from outside the 50-metre line, and obviously Jens is one of those. He was given the ball and certainly made the distance easy.
Now this would drive James Hird absolutely nuts. So it's a set play here. The contest from the Essendon players certainly not up to scratch. Both just looked at the ball. Then it was a stop play. You would have thought you would have had the time to round up the opposition players, and Jenkins kicked the ball from 55. Not good enough.
The Ryder won the top. But just thinking back to, it's a bit similar to the Adelaide St Kilda. Adelaide led 45-15 against the Saints here. Yep. About 7 weeks ago, 8 weeks before their horror run. Actually, it was before they played Melbourne at the MCG, where they sort of started to unravel. But they're in a similar position here tonight. The Saints got back into that match. But you feel like if Adelaide can go for another 10 minutes here, this could be all over.
Well, Essendon just haven't looked dangerous going forward. They're not getting in there a lot, but they've just looked pretty impotent in the forward line.
Dangerfield's long ball in. Tippett brings it to ground. Out by Thompson. Jim Collier just bounced off him. Left foot by Thompson is wayward. Can Adelaide take a mark? Well, Henderson and Vince sort of got in one another's road. And then Fletcher controlled the leg to Prismal. Prismal, nice kick to Davey. Davey, who created the only real goal, the only goal, obviously, for the Bombers, but just about their only real goal-scoring chance tonight. Fletcher.
Margin 37 points. It's with Pears. Short one, Zaharakis. Still inside the defensive 50. That's a clever kick to Heppel, who had the ball moments ago when another football appeared on the ground like an alien. It came from nowhere. Just popping it over the top, Hocking. Jenner's away on the wing, down towards half forward. Look at the numbers there. 3 plays, 1. Monfries just edged under the football, helpless. Then Burlow took the mark. Moran set up Tambling. Too cute. In goes Hurley strongly. It comes to Ryder. Ryder jams it on the boot. Tracking it back is Jensch. Needs to be careful with the bounce. Now, this will be interesting. Apparently the pressure was there. Gee, it's such a grey area. It's not a good rule. Ball outside the defensive 50.
And in front.
Mark taken by Henderson. I gather by this silence I'm in the minority. Here's Henderson.
It was definitive, Dennis. There's no doubt about it.
We were just nodding, Dennis.
Oh, thank you.
So
no, I'm not agreeing with the bad rule.
So McKay to Otten, and then Otten with a long ball and a behind. Down to you, Richard.
Well, Adelaide and Halkin taken 12 contested marks. That's their average for the year, and a lot of it's to do with the big fella we keep talking about, Sam Jacobs. He's taken 4 on his own. He has just come off the ground, though, limping. Their marking's been outstanding. I'll tell you, Ruckman are back. They're back in town, Ruckman.
We've made a note of it, Richo. And the Bombers at the moment coughing the ball up a bit. Stanton out wide. Monfries-Lee, I'm dying to ask you, would have you pinged Jensch a moment ago? Will in a second.
No, he was under pressure.
Okay.
Good decision.
Remus to Hurley. He ran hard, Hurley. Took the mark. So Hurley in the Dangerfield pocket.
And that's what we haven't seen from Essendon so far. Hurley actually had some space to work into, and as a result, he could present hard. And as the Essendon player looked up, could see someone charging towards him. We just haven't had that space in the Essendon forward line tonight.
So Hurley, who started the match on Tippett, he's been playing back the last couple. He played on Revolt last week. He's been forward early in the year. He kicked a lot of goals in the first 3 weeks of the season. Another match he kicked 4 in, and that one is always to the near side. And Essendon crawl up to 1-5, and they trail Adelaide by 6 goals.
That was one of the few occasions they've actually been able to transfer the ball from defence in a fairly straight line. They're just going little chip, 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 chip. By the time it gets into their forward 50, the Adelaide defence is back to cover. So they've just got to move the ball quicker as they did then.
36 points the margin. From behind, no contest. Talia is it right half back. Looks a promising type. High ball towards the wing. Melksham! Terrific grab. Blessed with plenty of talent, this young man. Goes down towards half forward. That was a terrible kick after a wonderful mark. Otten told to play on. Just lays it off. Jensch across half back. Hand passes to Rutten. Always reliable Rutten. Drives it towards left half back. Hardingham from behind. Forced to spoil on Henderson. Out it goes.
See the hanger there from Melksham, and the spoil, it's a nice grab. The spoil there from Hardingham just shows how much more comfortable he is up the ground as opposed to deep on Patrick Dangerfield.
That's a really good mark, isn't it? Ruckman are back, the Specky is back.
A lot to look forward to. McKay, and then Hill trying to get the ball forward, then Melksham toe poking. Should remember too that John Cox still off the ground here, Tambling. So the sub hasn't been activated. So not.
Yeah, once you've gone for 10 or 15 minutes, you'd be surprised if he comes back. Maybe he will, but most of the time they give it 10 minutes to see.
Brodie Smith a sub for the Crows, and he can play that rebounding half-back role. Probably not to the same effect as John Cock, but certainly an option.
Jim Moran straight down to Hill and another behind. So, Lee, do you think they might give it another 5 minutes to half-time?
Oh, I think they'd be thinking about it now. I mean, once just that one player down, so you're down to 20 active players, that most clubs will only give that 10, maximum of 15 minutes before they're forced to make the sub.
So, Tippett up the ground, Pears attacked it hard. Tippett won the ball, and then to Doughty. Doughty with a little left footer, well timed and lovely weight. Now Van Berlo.
Van Berlo towards left half forward then. Another nice kick. Demanding very little of Vince, just drifting back, took it. His centering ball now. Prismal knocked it down to his own advantage. Howlett, haven't seen a lot of him. Dangerfield bursting through. Couldn't get much purchase on the snap. It goes down towards full forward. Coming back with the flight. Knocked across the line by Sloan.
One of the real positives for the Crows tonight's been the form of Bernie Vince. I think in the last couple of weeks he's starting to cover the ground better. Up to now 15 possessions.
Monfries. Big leap by the little man. It was Dyson who kicked it in. Pearce was pushed in the back. It affected the kick, but it works out okay. Collier's away. Davey is on. Davey will mark. He's got it about 25 metres out. Quick transference. Grabbing it immediately at the other end was Dyson. What's this? Not as good as Melksham, but not bad just the same. Alwyn Davey. Very important kick. They're down by 36. And probably even that flatters them. And he comes and he gets the goal. They've got their second after a goalless opening term.
It's again one of the rare times that they actually started from the Monfries mark, but then they were able to move the ball quickly and get that extra player back into their forward 50 run quickly. So at least they're a long way behind on the scoreboard, 30 points, but at least they've stopped, I think, the bounce out of the Crows defence that was really contributing the Crows' early game score.
It's a great mark. So Monfries and Davey have been instrumental in both their goals, haven't they? I mean, Davey to Monfries, Monfries mark, and eventually to Davey. Lee, they've actually outscored Adelaide in this turn, believe it or not.
Yeah, no, they're hanging in there.
So it's 2 goals apiece. The outscoring's only by 1 point, by the way, but at least they've held the Crows. I feel like right now, if you didn't look at the scoreboard and you were just watching the play, that it's pretty even.
And fairly even players all over the field, which I think is suiting Essendon a bit better.
I'll have it again, guys. Not contestable.
They're just making sure. Away from this stoppage, there's just pairs of players. There's probably 6 Essendon forwards forward of the footy. So the Crows at least have been denied the bounce out of defence, which was so good for them early.
We're at that stage in the game where if there's only one more goal scored in this quarter, how big it would be. Yeah. I mean, Adelaide get it, you think they're almost home. Bombers get it, well, they could feel like they've got a real good chance. So let's see what unfolds in the next 4 minutes. Essendon push the ball forward. They get it to about 70 metres.
Fine.
Particularly remember Essendon was so strong late last week, so that gives you a bit of confidence if you're within 4 or 5 goals at half time. At least we can actually keep going strongly. That maybe is what the Essendon players would believe.
Jack Melksham having a very good night, up to 13 possessions. Howlett trying to get through the pack, nothing doing. Spills across towards Riley. Riley sends it to midfield. Clever mark. Tippett in front, paid the free kick, didn't take the mark. Looks inside the 50. Moran came, did brilliantly. Wonderful balance by Moran, landed on his feet, knocked it across towards Sloan, who fed it back towards Yench. Sloan goes again. Moran's got it outside the 50, tries to pinpoint it, just misses his target. That was Bernie Vince, and it runs out of bounds. Richo?
Yeah, we just see David Zaharakis just coming back onto the ground. Only had the 2 touches, so thought I might ask you, Tommy. How can we get him into the game? They need him. He was one of their best players last week.
Richo, I like the fact he's gone straight up in towards the contest there. He's been spending a lot of time across half forward and just hasn't been able to get into the game. So it'd be great if James Hird showed the faith and put him into the middle of the ground to really start winning some contested ball.
So Stanton in the back half. Tambling to close on Monfries. Does it well. Now Riley. Oh, good kick in the angle. It was a great mark and made the kick a beauty, didn't it? Petrenko. And then Petrenko to load up. Where is Tippett. It's Moran, I think, the target. Well, this is a massive kick from Moran. His contract's up this year. It's the first time he's played consecutive matches for the Crows this year. I don't think he's played more than about 3 consecutive matches for about 3 seasons.
If he's thinking about all of that, he might have been a bit of strife there, Bruce.
He has to prove himself at this club, and this is a moment.
Just find that Crow supporter through the goals, about 15 metres back behind the fence, and kick it to him.
I'm telling you, this is the biggest kick he's ever had in an Adelaide jumper. We said that goal was important. Here we go.
Right at home.
He's got it.
Sign him up.
And they get that goal.
Was an extremely important goal for Brad Moran. And just Essendon felt like they were coming along, but just another settler, and they're looking pretty solid.
He's looked dangerous there, hasn't he, really? I mean, Tippett hasn't got a heap of the foot. He's got a little bit of the ball, but Moran as the second target has made the Essendon big defenders can't be totally Tippett conscious, and at least he's giving that second target quite well.
Just see Moran there. His direct opponent on that occasion when he took the contested mark was Dustin Fletcher. Now he's rolled over to young right. I think the times of Dustin Fletcher taking the big key forwards for the opposition are gone, so he's trying to free himself up as a rebounding defender.
Rucks go at it, fell at their feet. After it, there's Petrenko. Interesting hand pass by Dowdy, taken away by Dangerfield, kicked into an oncoming player there. Hocking comes to Melksham. Melksham sends it down towards half forward. Getting in behind the defence there was Reimers. Paddles it across the hill. Tackled by Van Berlo. Back to Reimers. Spins out of trouble. Reimers kicks and misses everything. Close to half-time now, and of course, big day in footy. So many talking points. Heath Shaw of Collingwood. The betting scandal unfolding with the Magpies. Gone for the remainder of the qualifying rounds this season. Suspended. Not a big bet, but he's out of the team. Won't play. That suspension starts tomorrow against Carlton. And I guess the irony is his absence could affect the market because he normally takes bets. Ball goes across to Hardingham. That was a clever mark. Defensive side of centre wing, sends it back inside the centre square. Heppel does well, found a way through. Melksham loved his game, loved the kick. Stanton gets on the end of it. So Stanton is about 45 metres out. Gee, they could do with this. I know Bruce said whoever got the last goal maybe, but wasn't counting on the other side getting the next goal next.
It was only if there was only one.
Ah, see? A technicality. I understand. I speak Macca fluently. Anyway, there isn't one. Stanton hit the post.
Gee, that was never going to miss, was it? I mean, it looked home and hosed. Well, it's still time for the Bombers, you'd think, if they could get a turnover here. Symes. Oh, that was a clever kick in the end of Thompson. So then Thompson tries to thread the needle, and he does. Sloane drops it. He's had a big first half, though, to Dowdy, to Talia. And then Talia's kick to half forward. It's a free kick.
Tippett!
Well, Tippett gets it, so Adelaide have a chance now. He's going to kick the ball onto full forward. Henderson goes early and takes the mark. Well, this is a body blow.
He played that well, Henderson. He could see that Melksham was coming back, but he sort of just went a little early. Just Melksham mistimed his loop. That's that free kick to Tippett that got the ball into this part of the ground.
Lee, they've taken 17 contested marks, Adelaide, in this half. I think they've averaged 12 for the season.
Yeah. They've been strong overhead.
Yeah. Well, this really does hurt. He's missed it. So that's a let-off. They've got a good lead, but don't think it's going to haunt him. Who knows? But, boy, it was one he should have drilled home. But at half-time here on what has been a massive day for footy, and we'll talk all about the Collingwood betting scandal at half-time and Mickey Malthouse. Adelaide lead by 6 goals. It's 55-19. Friday night footy.
But Essendon obviously think otherwise.
55 plays 19 on Friday Night Football. Started the second half. Jacobs has to wait. He's been very good. Thompson gave it back to Jacobs. Symes' hand pass intercepted by Hocking to Hill. Now Zaharakis, so quiet in the first half, goes too far. Just felt the leather in his mitts and he wanted to run and feel the breeze in his hair. Well, maybe not in his hair, but you know what I mean.
I think he saw it with Sam Jacobs. He thought, I'll take him on, but...
This must have only just been over the meterage there, I reckon.
Let's hope it's not an ominous sign for the Bombers. They need a goal or two early just to get some scoreboard pressure back on Adelaide. So Jacobs, we've talked a lot about his influence tonight. Tip it up to centre wing and a boundary throw in. So they've got to find, I reckon, what, 10 goals, Essendon, would you think?
At least you'd think, yeah.
So John Cock obviously off the ground. Smith activated. Heppel high, it's a poor tackle.
Off him now, let him go. Hey, guys, you've got the free kick, go. Go, let him go.
So Thompson, a bit erratic there the way he came in. Only player on the top 25 from the draft, Heppel, that's played every game this season. Had a remarkable year. Tambling to do some roving, because he can stay hard over the ball, sort of, and held up again. This won't worry Adelaide for a while. I'd be quite happy to see it at slow motion pace.
Well, the last time Bomber Thompson was involved with Essendon against Adelaide, it was the half-time of, what was it, 1993 prelim, and revved the boys up. Maybe you can do the same again this time. Clutching at straws a bit though, Bruce, probably.
Gee, you're going back into ancient history, aren't you? We saw Cornsey before the match. He was coaching. Thompson, that's an awkward kick.
I'll say, Cranberry got it on the deck. Davey, too conscious of the man, the ball was on his feet. Cranberry did well, though. Reamers, 45 metres out, hooking and hooking too far. Way too far. Out of bounds on the bounce, opposite pocket.
Messenger Jacobs is going to do the ruck work and Hill's going in with him, which Ryder will try to jump third up here. It'll be interesting to see if, I know Ruttons.
Jacobs has been terrific, beaten by the two of them that time, though. Hill in front, over the top came Ryder, spills out of the congestion. Hurley's over the football. Appeared to throw it out. Ryder going nowhere, falling to the ground. Talia, oh, well controlled there by Vince. The hand pass, well, it was all about meterage, getting back McVeigh. Bit of a fumble from Slattery, out of bounds. Started as the sub-boundary throwing.
So Slattery on for Howlett. Fletcher was actually playing in that game, you know, Tom. All those years ago.
Yeah. I was sitting at home as an Essendon supporter watching it in the lounge room in Adelaide.
So here's Zaharakis belting to full forward. Well done by Reamers, getting his body in the right spot. Tambling will probably run it over, and he does. You'd have been young. You'd have been so young you wouldn't have had hair in those days, Tom.
Full circle.
So Yetch.
Thanks, Steve.
Again, Adelaide a bit sloppy here. That'll be a kick in. So looking for Henderson, and Adelaide have come out a little slowly. Heppel. And Heppel with a neat-looking kick to Ryder. Couldn't quite. Davey well done. McKay to slap it away. Ryder. Talia got a little hand in there and a boundary throw in. So not a lot happening, but Essendon at least are pushing forward.
So you're a Bombers supporter, Tom. Always intrigued by guys who barrack for a club as a youngster and obviously don't play for them. Generally, that's the rule as they get older. Close to the boundary line, over the football, Reamers, tackled by Thompson, tries to shrug him off, and I think he'll be caught. He is. Advantage is paid. Vince has got the football, delayed it nicely, back to Thompson. Thompson, a high ball towards the wing. Big leap came from Hardingham. After it goes Dangerfield, lost it on the bounce. Hardingham dragged down, another chance for Dangerfield. Hill's got it, falling to the ground. Pear's in trouble, taken front on by Tippett, crashed to the turf, spills across towards support there, the big guy Jacobs. He's got it, rolls out of the pack, well, sort of. Didn't get full clearance, and he's pinged. Oh.
Gee, did it well, Jacobs. I mean, the free kick goes against him, but to get down so low and to win a hard ball, he deserved a pat on the back.
The forward 50 pressure for the Crows has been really good. It's been an area that they've struggled in all year this season.
Rutten at the back, and then Henderson, who's pretty quick, takes them on. Handball inside. That's a high tackle on Riley. It was a poor handball.
No, Nathan. Nathan, you've got the free kick. Don't give it away. Time back on.
So Riley at centre wing. Now tip it down the line. That's probably the go-to. He should have marked it. He's dropped a couple like that tonight. Ball just falling quickly, isn't it? And he just couldn't quite. Well, he should have marked.
The second one, I think, Bruce, he's done for the night. It's that one where it's in the midriff. You're not quite sure where to have the fingers up or the fingers down. A bit like the cricketers in the slips, and he's went down on that occasion and dropped it.
Boundary throw in. Hill directs it down, intended for McVeigh, too slick. Coming through was Sloan, gave it across towards a teammate there in McKay. Finds Vince now. Vince running away from his own goal, hooks it back towards McKay. Coming over the top with a bit of vigour there was Hocking. Trying to send a message, if nothing else, and a boundary throw in. Suggesting there should have been a bit of talk. Or a bit more talk, whichever. Heppel finding a way through. Monfries. Seems to be a bit more conviction from the Bombers at the present time, and they're attacking as a result. Crameri, well, his GPS deserted him. The football ran behind him. And Crameri really didn't get back into the contest. So much so, Otten made a terrible blunder. The hand pass straight to Monfries, to Reimers. It's bouncing goalward. And that is not football for the time capsule.
Had far more time than I think he thought there, Kyle Reimers.
Doesn't look happy, Hurdy, at the moment. You can understand that because they're a long way behind and trying to hang on to that finals berth. Things aren't going well for them.
He's had 4 shots on goal tonight, Reimers. Just a couple of behinds, a couple of out of bounds. Gee, Andy Otten dodged the ball there because he really should have kicked it as far as he could. He had to play it defensively. Now, can Adelaide get it all the way across here? Van Berlo. Okay, well, the slow kick of Jetta came in and knocked it away from Rutten. I feel like Adelaide have suddenly become nervous, I reckon.
Yeah. Well, and what Essendon are doing at least is holding their forwards in position. So Adelaide are having to kick the ball sideways across the back line, whereas early in the game they were going forward.
Symes, Thompson, they played it well. Talia's been good. It's an up and under. Henderson and Tippett. Well done, Pears. Ball getting out. Handball forward was good from right, and then Thompson off the side. Now Henderson can go. I don't reckon Zaharakis will get to him. 1 bounce, 2 bounces. He's almost within. No, he does the right thing. Can he get to Petrenko? Can Petrenko turn Fletcher inside out? That's deliberate, Fletcher.
Deliberate. Go through. Jay, that's your line.
So Petrenko goes back. He did step off the mark. Now Symes has got not much length on the kick. Kicks towards full forward. Tippett. Well done by Hardingham. Terrific stuff.
Zaharakis. Melcham dragged down. Spills. Taken by Dangerfield. Back across the face of goal and through for a behind.
He's playing on really short plays tonight, Dustin Fletcher, and you find when the ball goes to the ground, he really gets nervous. Because now he's in trouble because he is playing on good ground level play. He's got the advantage in the air, but opponents got the advantage at ground level.
That's where I think he's best suited now to play on that sort of mid-range form. He fancies himself in the air so he can get the arm in, but it's obviously not too nimble on ground.
Dyson to himself. We were talking before about how long Dustin Fletcher's been playing. He's seen the interpretation of that rule probably change about 3 or 4 times. Keeping up's the problem. Out of defence, the high ball from Zaharakis. Waiting behind Hurley. Well, it came to him. He spilt it. One-handed hand pass out of bounds. Lackluster beginning to this term, but certainly the Bombers with a better attitude.
It's a fair idea of that Adelaide are moving the ball quickly. They're running bounces. They're at least taking off into space better than the Bombers.
Moran won it down, but straight to Monfries, who was pushed in the back. So Angus Monfries.
Come on, come.
Obviously was injected with sodium pentothal during the week. I don't know why he owned up to what he did. Weeks later, there's McVeigh inside the forward 50 on the lead down there, missing it. Reimers comes behind a Collier. Had it a long time, taken down by Tambling. Well done, Tambling. He just kept at it.
Come back on.
Yes, you're right in regard to Angus Monfries. Some things are better left unsaid.
That's right.
He's won a few free kicks tonight. I reckon just goes to show, tell the truth, and good things come your way.
Just a funny old kick from Tambling.
Mr. Goody T-shirt.
And now Ryder. Hurley's on his own. He's got it. Richard Tambling, ironically, was the last man standing, but that kick across the goal, straight to Ryder.
The two big guys at Essendon want to be marking the ball, Ryder and Hurley. It's he's got the run at the footy, Hurley, but gee, we haven't seen that tonight. Just the ability to actually get himself full stretch at the footy in the marking contest.
So Hurley kicks the goal. The Bombers get that important opening goal. I think we can go up and talk to Mark Bickley up in the Adelaide coaching area. Bick's not what you wanted there. Obviously, John Cock off the ground, and just a little nervous start, I reckon, here in the second half.
Yeah, well, obviously they've responded in terms of the way they've come out, and the pressure's a fair bit greater than what it was in the first half. So just stifled our ball movement a little bit. So we just need to respond.
Bix, they seem to be forcing you to go really across field out of your back 50 all of a sudden. That's putting a bit of more pressure on back there.
Yeah, look, we did that in the first half and did it a bit better than what we did the last couple of times we tried, but we don't want to stifle that. We still want to be aggressive with our ball movement. We just think they'd do it better. The last two kicks have been really poor.
And Jacobs been really good for you in the middle of the ground?
Yeah, he has. He gave that midfield a fair bit of look at it. He's also getting some hand on around the ground, which is really handy for us as well.
Mark, thanks very much for that.
Nice.
Ryder up very high. Zaharakis away from the middle. Bounces it down towards Monfries. Petrenko careful not to get his back that time. Van Berlo missed it. Hurley got the arms free. Came across somehow to Monfries. Clears the congestion. Goes to Prismal. And he misses. Well, the Bombers are coming.
Sometimes with a young side, when you get out to a bit of a break and that confidence of knowing what to do to really put the foot down and close out a game, you just get that sense that's what the Crows are sort of going through.
They're locking the ball in really well, aren't they? The Crows haven't had an inside 50 entry so far in this first 8 minutes or so of play there. So Essendon are winning the clearances, getting it forward and holding it in really well.
Petrenko to himself, runs out of the square. High ball to half-back. Thumped away by Hardingham and out of bounds. Will have a boundary throw. 56-28. Still a substantial lead, but Essendon playing with a lot more spirit.
Remembering too, they kicked the last 10 goals against Richmond last week. They're in a sort of similar position. They're probably a goal closer than this at this stage of the match. Thompson's quick kick forward. Good contest again. Slattery getting back, and then Hardingham. It's had an interesting night being on Dangerfield. Kick across to Collier. Tambling did very well to tip it. Too slow. No, he does get the kick, and it's a beauty to Wright, who kicks his second, and that's huge. Well played, Tambling.
Been a real mixed bag tonight, Richard Tambling. Done some really good things and had some moments he'd rather forget, but that's a great build-up there by the Crows. Dustin Fletcher was the last man in line for Essendon's defence and had to make a decision to go one way or the other and basically cover two, which allowed Wright over the top. So really, I mean, a steadying goal. Looking at the scoreboard, you wouldn't think so, but Essendon having the run of the play, I think it was 8-2 or 3 inside 50, so an important one for Adelaide.
A couple of times in the first quarter that just in that flow of play through the middle of the ground, that tackle just wasn't quite laid, but they did get forward. They've kicked probably 4 or 5 goals from just getting forward of the ball in their forward 50, the Crows.
Hocking out of the middle of McVeigh. McVeigh goes inside the forward 50. In best position down there and taking the mark is Van Berlo. Very good overhead for his size. Goes out to Thompson, having a big quarter so far. 6 possessions midway through the term. High ball towards the wing. Ryder came from behind, gets it out of bounds. So that was a huge play moments ago. Tambling on the outer side against 3. Turn the tide. And suddenly the Crows got a goal against the flow. The two coaches. Melksham in front. Breaks away. Going back with wonderful courage, Petrenko.
Travis right there.
That's why he'll continue to get a regular league game. Coaches love that. In stark contrast to the hesitation we saw from a couple of Bombers about a minute ago.
So Symes back to Petrenko. Now this is where they've had problems getting the ball clearly out of the 50. And again, well played. Cranmerry's had a quiet night. Was he tripped?
Tripped. Take it back. Trip. Oh, you trip.
It's
back here. Come around now. Here, just here. Thank you.
Now that was the correct interpretation of the advantage rule by the play. He's made the decision here after he took off and he thought, no, the advantage isn't there, I'll pull back.
So Cranberry kicks to the top of the goal square, Ryder up high, Symes, and that's out on the full-off. No, Van Bello straight back to Cranberry. Slightly better angle, but a miracle kick from here. Won't go for goal, you wouldn't think. Leading goal kicker at the club. What a great season he's had off the rookie list. Well, he's given it a go. It's, gee, he might have kicked it. He has kicked the goal. Wow. Well, you mightn't have thought it. He got it.
Thought it didn't work for him the first time. Basically got it back and slotted it. So Essendon just hanging in there. You get the feeling they've had the run of the play this quarter. The two rebound goals that came really from the Crows halted a little bit of momentum, but still staying in it.
Adelaide can't quite get it out of the back 50, can they?
No, Essendon are holding the ball in there much better in this last probably 40 minutes of play.
That's starting to resurface, that hand trip, isn't it? We saw it against Murphy a couple of weeks ago. It is dangerous. That's not the free kick. It came out. He marked it again and kicked it back inside. So far tonight, the Bombers have not had consecutive goals. Here's Henderson breaking away from midfield, sends it down towards the pocket. The hand pass originally came from Thompson. Now Fletcher takes the mark in defence. Fletcher very close to the boundary line. Monfrey in front. Petrenko from behind did well and knocks it out of bounds. Richo?
Yeah, Essendon getting on top around the clearances, as you've been talking about. So Neil Craig's made the move, putting Tippett into the ruck. Jacobs and Moran have gone forward. So hopefully Tippett can help them in that situation in the clearances.
Josh, our statistician, saying that to win this game, Essendon might need to get consecutive goals and or a lot of behinds.
It's big runner behind.
He's very much a Bombers man, so he's despairing down there just for the moment. But it doesn't taint the stats. There goes the kick from Thompson. What a quarter he's having. Inside the forward 50, Pears over the top. Didn't have the ball, Jacobs. Well, the Bombers come away. Monfries goes to Hocking very deliberately, placed the ball onto his boot. Not so Davey, kicks it very high from behind Rutten. Oh, well done, Ben Rutten. Then he gets it out to the advantage of Sloane. Sloane could have been taken high. Putting the body in out there was, I think it may have been Stanton. Meantime, it rolls on about 10 metres. And getting a free kick is Downey.
Stay out.
200th last week. So he's the veteran of this team. Last to go, and that's an up and under, not a good kick. And Hardingham, well, should have taken an easy one, just got underneath it. Stanton's been very good off the side of the boot. It was a good kick, deliberately out there. Melsham, what a player he's going to be. Second season, Jetta wide, Monfries down the line. Good, well, looked a good kick, but slipping at the wrong time was Cranberry. Rutten did well to take the ball, then put Petrenko under pressure. Adelaide now tangling. Back to Symes. Now Symes, normally a slow kick, but that's a good one. To Otten. Now this is where Adelaide have had problems in this quarter. Getting the ball out of the 50 effectively. The kick to centre wing. At the back was Riley, and a boundary throw in. So Essendon slowly eating into this lead. Still a long way back, but making some progress.
Richo, just a quick question. Adelaide Footy Park tends to get quite slippery at this time of night. What's the surface like down there?
Yeah, it does, Tom, but it's certainly nowhere near as bad as I thought it was going to be tonight and I've seen in the past. It's not too bad.
That was the sub Smith who went to ground. Petrenko did brilliantly, took them on, gave it to Sloane, kicks it down towards half forward. Thompson, the reach, battles against a couple. Coming up on the assist was Fletcher, scrambles it across towards Hardingham. Great pressure from Thompson, kept going again. He put Prismal under pressure and eventually the ball goes out of bounds. It's going to be a free kick and it's going to Adelaide. Well, Scotty Thompson really put himself about.
Clear out. It's Adelaide.
He's exhausted. Sloane down the line, inside the 50 then. Moran was up, fingertips to it, right on the line. Gains about 20 metres for his side.
Been handy, hasn't he, right? He's kicked a couple. He's been able to take advantage of any opportunities had. So Hill and Tippett. Tippett works it and then kicks the behind. Gee, he's a powerful man, isn't he?
It's been a game of almost...
Yeah, does what I say. He hasn't got into the ruck much, Tippett, does he? It's sort of he really tends to be their third bloke in there occasionally.
Big kick out wide. So covering a bit of ground. Tippett and a boundary throw in. Well, he's kicked 55 goals 2 years ago, 46 last year. I mean, he's really their main goal-kicking option, isn't he? So
when you play Jacobs and Moran and Tippett, when you play the three 200-centimetre players, it's very hard to carry three of that size.
63 to 34. 7.5 minutes out from three-quarter time. Adelaide still controlling the game, but it's back to 29. It was 36 at half-time. Hill smothered by Sloan. Tippett again. Gets a hand past Goldwood. Taken down there by Riley. Gave it back to a teammate who sent it forward. I think it may have been Dowdy. It goes close to the boundary line and trickles out of bounds. In fact, it's going to be holding the ball, and it's taken by Hardingham. That kick earlier came from Smith, the sub. Thank you, Bruce. There's McVeigh. I would have stayed with it, Bruce. You are an honest man. I know the family are watching. Along the boundary line, over the top, Talia. Close to the boundary line, being held without it there, Dowdy, and the ball taken across by Paddy Wright, a boundary throw-in.
Scott Camperelli, a lot talked about Matthew Knights maybe helping out this week about the Bombers with Neil Craig, but Scott Camperelli, of course, under Matthew Knights, now with the Crows, so he knows a fair bit about this team, as does Simon Goodwin about the Crows. So a funny little combination tonight. Monfries.
Tackle. Oh, you're back.
No, can't stop.
Looked pretty textbook to me.
No.
So I agree with Neil Craig's view that inside information is a very overrated commodity when it comes to winning and losing games of footy.
But Tom Harley was right. Honesty is its own reward.
So Monfries gets the free. Pears, Prismal, well, he did well in the end. To Fletcher. Now Fletcher to load up. Long kick, a good kick. Slattery just works right underneath. Tambling, he's done pretty well, Tambling, after a bit of a shaky start to this quarter. McKay, Sloan's handball was good. And then off a step right, and he panicked there right, and he didn't need to do that. And Prismal to bring it back in. Essendon trying very hard to get this next goal. I feel if they do, they are right in it. Davey works to the front. Tambling gets his hands on it. Otten, gee, that's a hot handball to Sloan. And then Rutten in close. Well done. Dangerfield takes off and just bangs the ball forward.
Ball just trickles away from Pears. I think he wants it out of bounds. It is. Let's go down to Richo.
Yeah, they could have lost their second player here again. She's holding that shoulder down. He's put the tracksuit top on. So they might have lost their second player for the night after John Cobb, of course, was subbed out.
So for the time at least, Jench on the bench. Knocked down there by Hill. Hacked forward by the Crows only as far as Riley, who's tackled.
Got two guys.
63 plays 34. Big crowd at Amy Stadium. Adelaide looking for their 5th victory of the season. And Essendon working on staying in the 8. Jacobs, well, he's done that a few times tonight. Down the throat of an Essendon player. And it's going against McVeigh, obviously through it. Sloan. It's so aggressive. That's a terrible kick, though. Doubt it was 15. It certainly went to the wrong bloke. Ryder told to play on. Needs to be careful no one comes from behind. He swings it out very wide. Monfries tracking it back. Rutten's been terrific. Came up, got a fist on it, and knocks it out of bounds. Moments ago on the outer side, Rutten just created time and space for himself. Really in a congested situation. Wonderful. Just gave up a hand pass. Former All-Australian, and you can see why.
Yeah, here, Dennis. Remus held up. In fact, Richo talked about the Ruttman back. I feel like Darren Glass and Ben Rutten are back, don't you? They're back. Both All-Australians, at least twice. Glass and Rutten, I think once before him. And basically Scarlett owned it after that for a while.
So good in the air in the contest. If he's sort of within arm's reach in the contest, very, very rarely does he get marked against.
So Hill, and that's Thompson again. Dennis has talked about his input into this quarter. Bouncing ball, favoured the Bombers. Prismal, look away, handball's a good one. Collier with that leg speed. Nice looking kick. Finds his target. I feel like Ryder's getting involved, don't you, a little bit? Now, he can kick a long ball, Ryder. He's on a better angle than Cranmer. He's about the, maybe slightly closer in. Good play by Prismal. Lovely kick by Collier. So he's a goal-kicking ruckman, Ryder. 19 goals this season. That's a great kick. Essendon are back in this. Cranmer's long bomb and now Riders, and they get closer.
Just within 4 goals. Now that's attainable, I think.
Well, they're edging their way back. I mean, they're not exactly setting the scoreboard on fire, but they've kicked 3 goals this quarter. Adelaide have really only had the couple of scoring opportunities, kicked the 1 goal. So they're certainly edging closer. And even though they've only kicked 5 goals halfway through the 3rd quarter, the fact is if they can kick 5 or 6 from this point onwards, they're going to be in the results.
There's a great build-up by Essendon there. They got the ball out in space. When Adelaide were dominating the game, they were certainly the ones who were cutting the angles and getting the uncontested possession. Essendon seem to have a bit more run at the moment, so that's where the game's being won and lost.
Jacobs maybe. Stanton.
Advantage, yours, advantage.
Well, advantage was paid. Zaharakis kicked it quickly to a contest. It was slapped away by an Adelaide defender. Falls to Monfries, lines up. Gee, that would have been big. He misses to the left-hand side, so they creep to within 22 points. The biggest stumbling block in this term, as far as Essendon have been concerned, has been Scott Thompson. 11 possessions, 7 clearances. He really has fired up. 25 possessions to the moment. Cranmer gets a free. Cranmer and Ryder, 2 wonderful goals in this term. Cranmer too far out to score this time. Told to go. Take something off the kick. Just setting it up. Hands to it down there. Reema's missed it. Tambling. Otten gave it across towards Vince, and he's put it out of bounds on the full. So, handy pocket now for Hill. No doubt he'll run around. No, well, there you go. Goes for the short pass. Punched away down there by Symes. Taken by Ryder. Goes to McVeigh. McVeigh snaps, and he's got a goal. They're steamrolling back into this game, the Bombers. Gee, it's tough to be one of their fans. They keep on coming.
Yes, well, we only have to go back 6 days when they were 22 points behind Richmond. Almost to the end of the 3rd quarter, and they went bang, 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 kicked 3 goals, and then all of a sudden they just dominated the game from that point onwards. So that belief that you can finish strongly is a great comfort when you're behind, and Essendon have at least got that.
Great vision of the goal here. Everyone should know that McVeigh's a left footy. You see the Adelaide defenders go to the right. He swings around. Bread and butter for him. Great goal.
Closest they've been since 11 minutes into the match, the Bombers. Kicked some spectacular goals in this quarter. So Doughty out of the centre. Adelaide certainly needing a steadier here. Oh, Hardingham, big fly, not quite. And Tippett's in trouble. He's hurt. Adelaide 1 man down, of course, with Yench and John Cock both off. Now Melksham starting to spread the Bombers out wide. Heppel takes his time, kicks the ball inside the 50. Remus set himself. Ryder's becoming a factor, isn't he?
He's starting to get into the play. Sometimes, like for most of the first half, you always thought Ryder was out there, but he just can't force his way into the play. I must say, when he took the big lead, Hardingham, you thought, oh, don't mistime it, because if it goes over the back, you're in real trouble.
Boundary throw in then. Next few minutes, absolutely vital. Rutten falling to the ground. Hurley put the body in. Remus goes after it. Over the top was his teammate Ryder, picked up by Symes. Gave it to Tambling. Tambling out of defence. Reaching over the top was Fletcher. Falls to Stanton. Falling to the ground. Tries to give it across to Fletcher. Stolen by Moran. Doughty slips a hand pass away. Wright's got it. Goes down towards half forward. And Tippett comes up and passes the fitness test. Otten wants it long. He goes in that direction. Otten goes back. Brilliant in front, at least initially, by Hardingham. Here's an opportunity there for Dangerfield. Smothered off the boot. Sloan was tackled. Goes to ground. Slattery got him. Spills out belatedly. Taken by Stanton. Prismal feeds it back. Hardingham. Oh, missed there by Hocking. Got an obliging bounce. Slips it away to Melcham. A minute and a half to three-quarter time. Collier, Pears, goes down towards half-forward. 50-50 ball. Coming up with Symes. Picked up by that man again, Thompson. Van Berlo goes to McKay. Under pressure, turnover, Dyson.
Gee, big turnover there. Great call, Dennis. It's just fantastic stuff at centre-half-back for the Bombers a moment ago. Fletcher made a big play, didn't he? So Zaharakis in the back half.
Fletcher and Hardingham. Hardingham played it absolutely brilliantly. Got to the drop zone and then Fletcher implemented the smother.
Fantastic, couple of fantastic chasing pressures by little Davies. I mean, both in their forward line, that one in the middle of the ground that created the turnover.
He's an extraordinary athlete, is Fletcher. I mean, he's 36 years of age. We just saw him a moment ago there. I mean, he's still playing like a 26-year-old, isn't he, in terms of his athleticism at least. Here's the injury. Look at this whack.
And kick in the face, kicking the ball in the face.
So Adelaide being popped the question here. Talked a lot about Essendon's effort against the Tigers last week. The confidence they have. They were able to outlast Geelong the week before that, and they're coming hard here. Zaharakis to Hill, and then Hill inside. Every play important. Petrenko doesn't really get it away. Cranberry's first grab, and it'll be a ball up. So less than a half a minute to go, and what's turned out to be a pulsating third quarter after a slow start.
Everyone with a chance then to just take a collective sigh, a breath, as we run it down to three-quarter time. Hill goes after the football. Jacobs again, though, gets the loose ball. Sends it down towards left half forward. Going back is Pears. Good shepherd from Hardingham, and as he was shepherding, he was giving instructions as well. Fletcher's got it, and they were good instructions. Slattery's got the football, and he's told to run. Well, he decides to kick. The siren beats them in any case. But what a terrific turn. They said tough to follow the Bombers. You love them because they do this, and they keep on coming. In most games anyway, certainly in the last few. And prior to that little hiatus they took, but by the same token, it doesn't make it easy on the coaching staff or the people that love them. But there's still a chance in this one. Stick around. Adelaide a 9-9. Essendon 6-11. And this is Friday Night Footy.
Absolute freak. He covered that much ground. He was involved in 3 or 4 contests there, spoiled it on the wing, then at ground level. Then he's had to get back, cover about 100 metres back inside the forward 50, and he had a smother and another impact on a marking contest down there. He's a freak.
Zaharakis out of the middle end, kicks inside the forward 50. Cranberry missed it, swooping on it. Reamers, it runs on, it's a goal. The dream start for the Bombers. Margin is just 10 points.
Well, I've got a feeling Essendon might be hoping history's about to repeat itself, because that's exactly what happened in their match against Richmond, where they got back close at three-quarter time, then bang, they kicked the first goal in the first few seconds of the last term and then just steamrolled from there. So just at the moment, all the momentum of the game is with Essendon, and the Crows have got a real fight on their hands.
Just see the centre clearance here from the Bombers. David Zaharakis was involved. Richo identified him as a player that needed to lift. James Hurst throwed him into the middle of the ground. He had 10 possessions in that quarter and now started up with a terrific one for the last. The Bombers straight back in it.
So Thompson, another clearance, Tom. So Wright's free kick, but the Bombers so close now, 10 points behind. It's a poor kick, and Tipper got down low. Pears to Monfries. Henderson brilliantly done to tip it. Needed to give the handball, and then kicks the ball off the ground. Courage there by the Bombers. I think it's high, King, is it? He was terrific.
sense a little bit the umpires have held the whistle a couple of times to see whether advantage eventuates, or they've just sort of done that a couple of times, I think.
So McVeigh out wide.
It's a mark. Thank you, Patrick.
So Essendon out to break a hoodoo. Adelaide, only twice have they lost at Footy Park when leading by more than 2 goals at three-quarter time. Now, they've played more than 250 games of footy here, just over that, but only twice have they lost leading by more than 2 goals at three-quarter time.
That is a staggering statistic.
I think it was Carlton, Josh tells me, in 2004, the last time the job was done.
Ryder over the top. Nicely worked. Hocking gave it to Monfries. It came out to Prismal. Getting a hand to it down there was Rutten. Goes back after the football. Petrenko dug it out. Van Berlo across the body. Awkward half volley there for Henderson. Did pretty well. Deflected it across towards Thompson. Thompson very low for right. Picked up by Slattery. Goes back to McVeigh. McVeigh measures the kick. Comes to Stanton. Stanton right half back. Told to play on. Not much to go to, although he spotted a man. Good hard running by Monfries. Just came into his view, and the kick was very good. Monfries, well, it wasn't the same sort of kick. It was short of the mark. Reimers somehow moved it to Cramry, to Hocking. Davey is through. You can scent it now. The ball goes down towards the pocket. Just away from Hill. It bounces out of bounds, but they're really feeling it for the moment, the Bombers. Downtrodden all night. They're making their move.
Love Davies to attack the 50-metre, and he's got the speed to take the goals on. Always looking to pass the ball off.
You're uncertain there. He kicked a nice goal tonight from a set. Thompson again. Smith to Vince. And then Vince just had to get it on the boot as quickly as he could. Gee, that's a good mark. Well done by Wright. He got rid of his man and then had to stay on his feet and take the mark. But Adelaide need another goal. He's kicked 2 right. Where do they get their goals from? Tippett and Dangerfield have been their men this year. Symes created a contest and then gets down low. Good tackle, though, over the top. Coming from Pears. Tippett, high ball. It'll be contested. Doesn't go very far. Jacobs almost. Good mark. Van Bello releases Dowdy. This is an important kick. Can they get it over the top? No. Wonderful mark. Dangerfield, that was Hardingham, who's had a victory there, to Collier running hard.
Collier on the wing, then goes down towards half forward. Under the ball was Hurley, lunging at it, Cramry, knocked away by Otten. Coming up the ground, going towards his own defensive goal was Whitey, slung out of bounds. Richo.
If Essendon get up, I reckon it'll have a lot to do with Angus Monfries. His work rate across half forward since quarter time has been fantastic. He's put the ball inside 56 times, but it's been his work rate, his willingness to work and provide an option across half forward.
Boundary throw in. Sloan goes after the loose ball behind the pack. Tackled by Melcham, and we'll have a ball on.
I think the moral to that story, Richo, is that we should all go to the confession box on Sunday.
He's almost playing like the marking half forward. He's the one who's actually pushing up to the footy the most of all the Essendon forwards at the moment.
So Jacobs lays it down, but again it's red. It's become a pattern, hasn't it? Jetta and Van Berlo, important here. Bombers have got all the numbers, dropped it down. Orchie Jetta kicking in danger, surely.
Danger, Adelaide, free kick advantage.
So you heard that, and Petrenko touched off the boot. Wright's in trouble now. He's just gone. No, well.
Touched off the kick.
Probably given the benefit there.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, it was touched. Thanks, mate.
Just a bit loose by Jetta there. Has to be careful in that situation. Ryder, Sloan read it. Can't get away from Milsham. Building forward. Thompson tries a topo. Was really good there. Was Hocking again. Every ball important here. Riley and Collier in hard. Boundary throw in.
It's a great contest now. Essendon is certainly coming, and Adelaide just need to be able to get their scoreboard ticking over.
Knocked down by Jacobs, stolen away again. That time it was Dyson kicking it down towards half forward. Van Berlo goes back. What can the captain do? Well, he collides with a teammate there, Petrenko, who moved on to the next man, Hurley, and took him down. Down goes Collier. It spills across towards Van Berlo. Kicks it back towards the wing. Tracking it back is Hocking. Coming up to meet him but missing him was Thompson, so ample time for Hocking. Well, I thought so, not enough time. Holding the ball, that was terrific by Essendon, or rather by Adelaide. It comes across towards Vince. Vince goes long down towards full forward, off hands, kept in front, Pears.
So Essendon holding their nerve here. Stanton back. Well, I think they're holding their nerve. Back to Pears. Suddenly they're very nervous. The ball down low. Hasn't quite got out. Riley to Vince. Can he get enough on a good tackle? And then Thompson leans back and belts it forward. And is it still in? No, I think it's a boundary throw in. Just not working forward for Adelaide now at the moment. There's no crumb, is there? There's no crumb to Tippett or Moran. So boundary throw in. Symes held up. Essendon's tackling a real feature here. Hardingham just feel like they're stronger at the moment, the Bombers. Hardingham's kick out wide. Falls to Otten.
Otten slips a hand pass away to Vince. Otten with nowhere to go when he got it back. Riley, well thought out. Vince just chips it across the 50, not 15. Moran goes long. Hits the post.
Richo, we saw the shot there from Moran. Is he the answer for the Crows up forward?
I think he's on Fletcher at the moment. I think his most important job is to keep Fletcher away from Tippett. Tippett's still the man with Dangerfield down there, but I'm just a boundary rider, mate. You're the coach of the New South Wales Rams. I reckon you should be telling me the answer.
Shout out to the Rams too. I'm sure they're watching.
4 posters for the Crows tonight. 1 for the Bombers. Hill in front, knocks it down, follows up. Still going. Well played. Prismal hard against the boundary line. Kicks it towards the wing. Runs free behind. Tambling. Been useful tonight. Looks to the middle. Nice kick too. Taken by Otten. Slips it away to Petrenko. Takes on Jetta. Beats him. Kicks inside the forward 50. Pitches in front of Tippett. Wheels around. Great agility. Well, gets boot to ball. Pears was dragging him down with the kick. All to no avail. Out of bounds on the full. Slattery to bring it in. Great acceleration there. Wonderful comeback by Pears, although that right arm could have been a tad high. Here's Slattery.
Bangs the ball out. Hill and Otten, and then Ryder at the back, and McVeigh. Bombers have got a chance here. McVeigh's kick to Reamers. Running hard. Centre half forward. Hurley. Tambling. Big play here. Terrific stuff by Smith. Tambling on the up. Talia might have just spent it before he got it, but he did a toe poke. Vince in heavy traffic. Back. Petrenko. Petrenko, lovely looking kick. Gives Otten half a chance. Can he take Hill on? Bend his back and kick a goal. Well, he bent his back.
I reckon he's running about 25 metres. I think the umpire must have been thinking, how far can he go here? But he just put away the whistle, basically.
I feel like Adelaide have got to get a goal here. I mean,
absolutely no doubt.
They have pressed so hard for the last 5 minutes.
Ryder to Zaharakis. Finding room, Zaharakis. Melcham, good all night.
That one forward to the footy.
That one hurt. Monfrey's meantime goes to Reamers. Now he can run inside the 50. Decides to go short. What a beautiful kick. Like an arrow onto the chest of Davey. 25 metres out directly in front. This to pull it back to just 6 points.
Well, the Bombers are actually #1 in the competition at scoring goals from their kick-in, so they've got great structure with that. And they've gone coast to coast again.
When they were able to go fairly central and get that mark on 50, then you're out.
Alwyn Davey going at his 2nd goal. And he steers it home. Headed for a grandstand finish on Friday Night Football.
Neil Craig is thinking to himself, well, the momentum of the game's going against us. Is there anything I can do outside to stabilise the situation? That's the coach's dilemma all the time as the game is evolving.
Just shows you how important that miss was from Andy Otten at one end. All the Adelaide players have pushed forward. He misses that goal on the run. They get a quick kick in. They had players out all the way down to the other end of the ground. That's a 12-point turnaround.
Good play out of the centre by Doughty to Henderson. And Henderson misses as well, so out on the 4. A point might have been handy there.
He might be starting to feel a bit nervous about the goal he missed just on half-time.
Yeah. You felt like that would have been almost the game, didn't you, at that point? But we're a long way away from that right now. Adelaide has not scored a goal for 32 minutes. Essendon have kicked the last 5. Remember, last week they kicked the last 10.
They should be fresh, the Crows. They had the ball. I'm absolutely adamant at this stage of the season that's got to be an advantage.
Tippett knocked it down, but straight to Heppel. Goes over the top to Momfries. Feeds it back inside to Slattery. Forward then to Jeddah. Now it's Zaharakis. Another searching kick. The defence under pressure. Tambling held without it. Advantage is played. On the rebound, Otten to midfield. Sloan gets the hand pass. Thompson, so good with the ball in his hands. Goes down towards half forward. Up in front, Dangerfield couldn't hang on. Crumb by Henderson. Back to Dangerfield. Beats one man. Not the second. Run down by Momfries. Momfries reverses the roles. Works in front. Dangerfield wrestles with him. Hardingham comes over the top. And that's in the back. Oh. That was a soft free kick in relation to what was happening. So what's he saying? It was holding the ball.
I think it was, the dive on the ball, free kick, holding the ball. Have a look at here. The ball goes to ground. I think he initially dives on it, Moncrief. But then he gets up with the footy, but I guess it didn't get clear, was the umpire's interpretation.
20 seconds.
It's a tough call.
It's almost a lock in hand
holding
there
the
with
ball
the...
in, Dangerfield's in fact, but as soon as you lose your footing over the footy, it doesn't get much. You're in trouble.
Well, we talked about what an accurate set shot he is, Dangerfield. He's done it again. He's kicked 3. And they get a very, very important goal.
It's impressive temperament from Patrick Dangerfield to go back as a young player and kick the goal. Very Mark and Shooter-like, but saw the contest there. Angus Monfries did absolutely everything right. He put on the tackle, he got the ball up, went to fight the ball again. I reckon Paddy Dangerfield actually locked the ball in. So extremely unlucky there for Monfries to get pinged for that.
No matter what you look at first, the dive on the footy was the first thing the umpire, as soon as he did that, he had to get it clear.
Just a huge effort here from Angus Monfries. Lays the initial tackle, gets up, instigates the play. Consider himself extremely unlucky. I'm convinced Patrick Dangerfield locked the ball in there, but shows great temperament for a young player to go back like another former 32 at the Crows.
15 possessions for Dangerfield, 3 goals. Thompson gives it to Doughty. High ball flooding towards the wing. Monfries, though, gets back. Claims it immediately. Swings it across the centre square. Zaharakis. Bomber's not done with yet. That's a throw. Play on's the call. Sloan going to the ground. Terrific. Tippett gave it to Thompson. To Doughty. To Riley. Through midfield, but it goes straight to Pears. Sends it back towards Hocking. Hocking under duress. Got boot to ball taken by Cramry. End-to-end stuff now. They're getting tired, and the game is opening up. McVeigh down towards the pocket. Hill rumbles to the football. Hand passes to Collier. Collier comes back and finds the youngster Heppel. And Heppel, with an old head on his shoulders, decides to settle it down. Hurley, not sure that's the spot for it, Michael. Well, obviously it is, but he takes the mark.
Led hard into that one, Hurley. He was the target, but he actually really had to run round the Crows defender. It was Tippett to actually get at the footy. Did it well.
Hurley, the 1 goal, and right there, very much the future of the Essendon Football Club. We'll see that a few times in the next decade or so. Heppel to Hurley. We're right behind him. Oh, nice. Struck beautifully. They will not be denied. It's back to 6 points.
There's a great example of Adelaide overusing the ball. They had 3 handballs. They didn't need the 4th to Riley. Then Riley, of course, coughed it up. Now, that was just bad play. But they often do that. They just had overuse of the handball. Didn't need to do it.
In the last month or so, Adelaide have actually been kicking the ball a lot more than they have in the past. And that was... They were handballing the ball pretty successfully, I've got to say, in the first half of the game. But just over possessing, Bruce, spot on.
pressure situations. You got Heppel and Hurley, two young players, great pass and composure, and then to go back and drill the goal. Hurley, that's fantastic for Essendon. Don't forget on the bench, Jensch is out of this game, so they have had the bye, but they're 2 men down with Johncock out and Jensch.
Thompson's a little bit unlucky there. Free kick though to Stanton.
High tackle. Straight away.
So Bomber Thompson talked about this to Richard at half-time, didn't he? Getting in and getting that hard ball and getting their midfield going, and that has worked since half-time. Essendon with the run, you feel here. Zaharakis, quiet game, but building, and again Hurley. He debuted on this ground, played on Treadray that day, and immediately made a mark. Kicks the ball to full forward. Oh, good mark. Took his own man on.
Clear out, guys, clear out.
He's played well, Alton.
He has been good.
He was very good on Friday Night Football against the Dogs, I reckon, about 4 weeks ago. But he's forced to kick very long here to a contest. Henderson up. Talia can't quite get the handball away. Thompson, McVeigh, Symes was good. Hangs on to him. Ball up. Oh, yep, ball up.
It's getting that way as commentators, Bruce, isn't it? You don't know. No.
And you just see here, you see that Adelaide only had the 9 interchanges. They're 2 down with the sub, obviously, and the Jensch. That probably will play a part in the latter parts of this quarter.
Well done by Ryder. Zaharakis, what a second half he's played after just a couple of possessions in the first half, and he's bounced it through. Scores a level.
Well, as soon as since Richo asked you what to do, Tom, with Zaharakis, and you told him, all of a sudden he's burst into life. And when he had 2 possessions at that point, which was well into the third quarter, I think he's had 18 disposals now, so he's had a really good last 30 minutes. This is great. Riders in the ruck now. Beautiful to Zaharakis, and as you coached just before, Tom, what to do him to get him going? You've got him going. Well done. He's actually had a terrific... And I reckon they're always better with Ryder in the ruck too. Late in the games, they're quicker.
So Adelaide's led since the 2-minute mark of the opening term. Scores level, and you reckon the Bombers might be in front in a moment. Kicking the ball forward. Well done coming across the ground. There was Doughty. Collier, they're in front. Well, they're irresistible, aren't they, at the moment?
It's been a powerful few minutes. They've had 5 shots at goal in this quarter for 5 goals, so accuracy is always important, but they're really now going forward out of the centre bounces. They're really in control around the middle all of a sudden.
You felt Adelaide, they had their foot on the jugular and didn't quite put it down. Yeah. Young side, not quite sure how to get the job done. Great energy from the Bombers at the moment. Lee spoke about it at the start of the game. For them to get back to their absolute very best, they needed to have that energy. Zaharakis has been massive. Montfort has also been huge. Huge turnaround from the Bombers.
Essendon by 6 points. Hocking tied up immediately. The umpire will do it again. So David Zaharakis came in tonight averaging 26 possessions over his last 4 games. He passed 20 once in his previous 11 this season. He had 2 to half time, and he's had 18 in the second half. Out of the middle, McKay goes inside the forward 50. Getting back is Fletcher, left it behind. Then was cast in the role of the goalkeeper. Moran socketed at him. Opportunity for Moran. He dropped the football. Dyson gets the free kick. Well, Adelaide, so much rotten luck this season, need a break now. Heppel on the outer side, chips it to the wing. Can the Crows find something? They've been gallant at times tonight and very good at other times, but now they're just marching on the spot. Collier looks inside. He's at left half forward. 77 plays 71. It was 36 points. Adelaide's way at half-time. Collier the high ball. Hurley the big leap. Jenner in front. Goes to Davey. Oh, and that could have been the ball game. He misses.
It's kicked a couple, Davey. So we go back to that 93 prelim final. This will be the second biggest margin they've ever given up in a game at half-time. And
that much, yeah.
So 36 points tonight, 42 that day, both against the Bombers. We started tonight talking about hoodoos for Essendon. Well, what a win this will be if they can hang on now. Could set their whole season up, you reckon, don't you? I mean, they're going to be entrenched in the 8 tonight. Tippett's kick, Adelaide to Doughty. So Adelaide forward, there's still plenty of time now. Talia use it, kicks it wide. Wright waits for it, probably shouldn't have. McKay's been quiet, brought down by Hocking, who's been wonderful, I reckon, and the ball up. Gee, that was indecisive by Adelaide going forward, wasn't it?
Certainly was. Played with so much confidence at the start of the game, and as the Bombers have peppered their way back, the confidence has eked out of them a little bit.
What a night it's been. Had some wonderful games on Friday Night Football. And they've come in all shapes and sizes. Not expected this one at halftime, certainly. That was belying the Bombers' record of coming from behind. They seemed inept early. Tackled across the line. Collier by Tambling will have a boundary throw in. Neil Craig. Terrific guy, just having a rotten run. Still, this would be sweet if they can pluck it back from here.
Thank you.
What they've done, the Bombers, they've just been harder to play against. I still have the words echoing in my ears. A player being coached by Bomber Thompson and Brendan McCartney. Just be hard to play against. They've certainly lifted their intensity after half-time.
Clearance stat, that's a big clearance difference, isn't it, in the fourth quarter, 12 to 4.
Heath Hocking, high tackle to Heath Hocking. Free kick against Scott Thompson.
Well, actually, we saw that developing. Hocking with the ball on the wing. Goes down towards half forward. Talia got a fist on it, knocks it back. The man who was standing to mark Thompson got the footy, slips it away, clever by Tambling. Brilliant. Symes. Van Berlo accelerates through midfield. Searching kick. Last man in the queue, Dangerfield, didn't take off. Moran gets the crumb, snaps, it floats. Another poster. That's 5. It's about time we spoke of the world record for posters before records were kept. I think it's 18, Bruce.
Moran's got a couple at least, and rotations least it's half-time, 50 to 31 Essendon.
Yeah, it makes a difference. It makes a difference why Essendon are going stronger than Adelaide late in the game.
Tippett, good mark. Adelaide enjoying the little patch now for a moment. Tippett banging back to full forward. Dangerfield stayed down. Jacobs, handball, Sloan. Unbelievable. Sloppy Sloan, eh? He's been so good tonight, but it had to be kicked. Jacobs, who he just got the angle wrong, and the coach says it all, I think.
It's the end-over-end kick again. Saw the Essendon defender there.
Going over the back.
Monfries. It was as if Sloan was aiming for the post of that world record. Along the line by Reimers. Into open space, Hardingham. Davey is on. He spotted Davey. Awkward kick that again and around the corner. Tambling dropped the mark. Tambling and Davey. Davey with more desperation. Tackled his Hurley. And Hurley is bulldogged across the line.
The Cardinals sinned from the kick in. When Essendon kicked the ball in, they had the two big guys, Moran and Tippett, and the ball came over the back. Ball has to go back towards your goal from those kind of set-up situations.
Hurley forward at least to straighten them up. Remember, he made his debut as a full-back on this ground. He played on Warren Treadray. Out of defence, Petrenko sends it up towards the wing. And we knew that day, I think, that Hurley was special. Down goes Dyson, hacked forward by Fletcher. 50-50 ball. Well done by Dangerfield. Releases to Wright. Wright under pressure, goes with the outside of the boot. Vince sliding in was Hocking. Hocking taking no prisoners. Vince goes over the top ball up.
I feel like right now, Adelaide are going as well as Essendon again. I do anyway for the last 5 minutes. It's maybe it'll come down to a lucky break here, because every time Essendon get the ball over the back, Adelaide are in trouble. But Adelaide are pressing hard here. Ryder's ruck work's been important.
Paddy Ryder.
Well, I don't know about that. He's had a good second half, Paddy Ryder. Lovely long kick to Hill and a good mark. So the two big guys. Now Hill's a thumper. He's going to wind himself up and kick right to the goal square. Cremery got it.
Great ability to jump a little early, Cremery, and still hold his balance in the air.
The mark came as a result. All the Essendon forwards pushed up. David Hill took the mark. All the Essendon forwards, as a result, pushed back, meaning the Adelaide defenders were out of position. And when the ball's going over the top like that, there's nothing you can do as a defender. The forward can make the play.
The Bombers are about to break another hoodoo here. They're ticking them off. Cremery gets his second, and they kick away.
The value of the aerial, the big, strong mark by Hill. Ryder got the lucky free kick, but then Hill took the big, strong mark around centre-half forward and then was able to really go at the goals. And Cremery is very strong.
To see the crowd going home, it's amazing, isn't it? Everyone leaving, but God, it's been a good game, hasn't it?
Stuart Cremery, the icing on the cake. It's out to 11 points. He didn't look. Whilst I'd like the champ not to take it on the chin and watch the goal through, it's amazing what coaching does. He would have wanted that situation as a player. Zaharakis, his second half has been superb. He goes inside the 50. Wonderful Mark Van Berlo. We hear so much about the hard-fought victories. It's overused at times, but this is the epitome of the hard-fought victory and a heartbreaker for the Crows. They deserve better on their form in the first half, but they've fallen away. Talia inside the centre square. There's still time, but it's a remote possibility now. Petrenko, so tough for so long. Inside the forward 50, clears the pack. Hurley's gone back. That's interesting. Dangerfield slung down. Pears controls it nicely. Slattery needs to be quick, and he is. And the tackle almost helped him. He just threw it on the boot. It fell in short. Stanton takes the mark. Under 2 minutes to go. 84-73.
I know Dangerfield's kicked his three, but I reckon Essendon have been terrific tonight in being able to go with him in the tackle because he's a burst player. They've been able to run him down a fair bit. Vince back. Petrenko's had a good game. Just a high kick. He's just wanting Tippett to take a screamer. He can't quite, and the Bombers have got the numbers. Monfries has had a terrific game. Gee, he's responded well to what could have been an embarrassing week for him, really, hasn't he? You ever made a mistake in calling that you want to tell us about, Dennis?
Not that I want to tell you about.
Okay, Tambling. Well, it's done Angus the world of good. High ball back to about 50. Tippett front spot. Well, this is the last roll.
The last roll.
That's it. Touch off the boot. Doughty. Stanton. McVeigh. Still
back pocket, yes, just slips it away. Stanton again. Hill. Wonderful, wonderful combination there. That's like the counter-punching of a real expert in the ring. That was wonderful. Zaharakis runs now. Collier running out of space, consuming a lot of time. They just dominated the football in close. Back goes Rutten, but the clock the enemy now. Down to 30 seconds, and the margin is too great. Petrenko drives to the outer side. Another Friday night classic, if you don't mind. Henderson towards half forward, drifting back. McKay juggles it. No time to stop. Hooks it across the body. Knocked down in front by Essendon. They lead in all directions. Pears gets a hand pass to the wonderful Monfries. He aligns himself with the football and moves it about 10 metres. Bends over the shoulder. Bombers will win. What a remarkable victory. Zaharakis, what a remarkable game. 2 possessions in the first half. On fire in the second. It takes a rare player to do that.
And congratulations to the Essendon.
20 possessions, Zaharakis, in the second half. 2 to half time. And spare a thought for that man, Scott Thompson, in the middle of a wonderful season. He finishes with 37. In the second half, he was almost as good as Zaharakis. Monfries good throughout the night. Oh, I love to it, Bruce. Just loved it.
Fantastic game. They've got a tough run in front. The Bombers have got to play 4 of the top 6 before the end of the season. They've got to buy in round 24, but this gives them a great chance of playing finals footy.
Absolutely no doubt about that, Bruce. Sometimes when your back's against the wall, we've spoken about the hoodoo at Adelaide, that's a huge win for their footy club and can launch them into the 8.
Remarkably, 9 of the last 10 goals tonight, the last 10 last week. Richo, that's the sort of stuff that can really help you when you're in a tight spot.
Wangus, that is a huge win. 9 out of the last 10 goals. You haven't won at this ground very often over the years. Massive win.
Oh, it's a huge win. I think, we showed really great resilience, being 6 goals down. To fight our way back and to win away from home was fantastic.
You guys must have a real belief in these behind wins that you're having. Last week, again this week. Did you think you could win at half-time?
I mean, we were disappointed with the way we went in the first half. And we knew that if we kept at it, kept going at our structures, things were going to turn around. We got the first couple in the third quarter, and then it just went from there. It was great.
You've had an interesting week, mate. You might have to make some confessions more often, I think.
I think I got killed for being a bit honest, but great win from the boys tonight. Looking forward to next week.
Well done. Nothing beats a bit of honesty. Well done, mate.
It was terrific. The irony, Lee, is that John Cox started on Monfils and had such an impact.
Started run off him. That was as good a game as Monfils has played. 35 possessions, 22 kicks, 13 handballs. I mean, that's a lot of footy. He's really usually a relatively low possession get a goal kicker, but a really good game tonight.
The development of Monfils and Zahra Rakas, not only as crumbing forwards, but into the mid as well. It's very important, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. And we saw the exact example of the influence they can both exert on the game of football.
It's only me. Their best footy's played when Ryder is in the ruck in the centre bounces. It's happened again in the last quarter as it did last week.
And pinch hits as a forward. It's often the forwards who pinch hit in the ruck. He's almost the ruckman, I think, who pinch hits in the forward line.
Well, it was his beautiful tap that Zahra Rakas got onto and kicked the goal that sort of put them on their way to victory. Back to you, Richo, and you've got a bloke that you must have played against a few times over the years.
Yeah, we've got Fletchy down here. Started in 1993 together, Fletchy, and you're still going. You're a freak.
Yeah, it was a good win today. The boys really hang in there. Our record over here has been pretty ordinary, but, a few boys stood up tonight.
You would have played in most of those games over here at 26. How does this stack up for wins over here?
Oh, mate, I haven't had much luck over here in interstate, so, we might enjoy a couple of beers tonight because, you don't get many chances like this to beat the Crows.
Mate, you're going to pull up a bit sore. It's nice and cold here. I saw you sort of limbering up the last few seconds there. How is the body feeling?
Yeah, probably not a good night. It was a bit cold tonight. The bones take a bit longer to get going, but after a win, you don't feel much, so we'll enjoy it tonight.
Good on you, Fletcher. Take it easy.
Remarkably, that's Dustin Fletcher's 202nd win. On the all-time list, he's equal 11th with Francis Burke. Lee Matthews at 220. Tucky's got the record, but well, he keeps on rolling on. What a night it was. 6 goals in the last quarter, 10 goals to 2 after half-time. They played like a good side tonight. They're in the 8. Friday night footy, it was 73-84.